ladies and gentlemen.
We're live. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Check in. Good to see you. Welcome, everybody, to Hawkwind's Radio Picture Show. You feel that cold breeze rolling in the air? You feel some icicles coming down your
I
back?
fucking hate winter, dude. Fuck that shit.
I love winter. I'm
Fucking
such a
sucks.
winter guy. Good to see you guys. Welcome to Hawkwinds. For those of you just tuning in for the very first time, welcome. We shoot live here at Q4 Radio every single Wednesday evening, where we highlight different artists of all kinds of mediums, whether they're musicians, bands, solo acts, puppeteers, filmmakers, comedians,
And pretty soon, amateur wrestlers.
and pretty soon amateur wrestlers.
Nice.
So tune in, everybody. If you're watching the show and you're having a good time, please leave us a like, leave us a comment down below. We can see your comments, so we would love to hear some feedback from you. And again, if you have questions for me or Jay, or if you have questions for the band, please let us know. Just check and make sure we're all good in here, that we're live. Can you guys see us? We see us. We're good. We're live.
I learned from my mistakes already.
Hey, look at us. We're
There was a
learning.
whole episode we filmed that didn't go live.
Yeah.
We can do like a whole.
It'd be like
live
that
now,
sometimes.
post
Oh.
right now.
So, well, what do you say, Jay Smooth? What do you say we send it on over to the band today? Everybody, please welcome to Hawkwind's Radio Picture Show,
Push the
Luzma.
button that does the automatic claps.
You're the clappers. Well, welcome, guys. Good to see you. Welcome to the show. For those of us who have never heard of Luzma before, tell us a little bit about your band. What do you guys like? Define your music genre to everybody.
That was too many questions. Jesus.
Yeah,
I'm
that was
sorry.
a lot.
Small brain. I can't. Hold on.
Yeah,
What
I'm
is
sure- I'm
my
sh-
name? I don't know. All right, guys.
Bro, you got to pull that out.
Yeah, it's not that.
Sorry about that.
No, you're good.
Let's ask one more time. Technical difficulties. Welcome to the show, Luzma. Good to see you guys. Please, for anyone out there who has never heard of your band before, tell us a little bit about yourselves. What kind of music do you play, and what kind of audience do you attract?
We attract audiences that are into late night drives and what was the rest?
Extra large fries.
Yeah,
Sad boy vibes.
And sad boy
That's,
vibes.
that's,
Yeah.
that's,
That's
that's,
we don't know our own catchphrase. Gio was the one that
Yeah,
coined that one.
I made that, and then some. Am I gonna be bringing the drama up? Some other
No.
band low key stole it, but
Who? Oh, no.
I don't want to drop names,
We're
but I could.
30 seconds in, dude.
someone low key stole that, but
We would say they creatively use very similar phrasing.
Yeah.
In the very similar order in a very similar way.
and we used to call ourselves Midwest Indie, because we were kind of afraid of the whole stigma that might come with using the word emo,
Emo.
and they used the
was
phrase
me.
Midwest Indie. And it's just like, well, we kind of just made that up just to kind of stay away from that. But Midwest emo is the correct term, like that's the one that everybody is using. But whatever.
So I guess we're Luzma.
Yeah, we're
right?
Luzma.
Band from Chicago. I think we've had the conversation about genre a lot, and I still feel like even to this day. Did you need this closer?
Yeah, let's push it a little closer.
Sure.
There you go.
Cool.
Yeah, you just talk into it. Yeah, there you go.
I think for we still have this conversation to this day about like what genre we are, and we we still can't come to an agreement. But so I did a little bit of a deep dive. I watched like a billion YouTube videos and tried to figure it out. And I feel like we're some sort of mix between Midwest emo. I think that's a heavy influence. Midwest emo, post rock, definitely heavy math rock influence. And then I mean, there's got to be some more in there, right? But we all kind of come from different places. I mean, I came from metal. I think Gio also came from metal, right? Gio?
Technically came from metal.
But
too.
I don't know that.
Not
that was
really.
a-
No, I mean,
Not at
they
all,
were
really.
doing metal with me at the same time.
yeah, that was like a basically gunpoint. I was forced.
Yeah.
to,
Yeah.
but
You like
I don't know
metal.
about forced, but dragged along. Yes.
You would wake me up and I'd have to go to.
There's a lot of abuse inside of Luzma, so. But yeah, I mean, it's I don't know. I feel like it's a special blend. I love it. It is kind of hard to pinpoint until you kind of listen to us. I think you hear it. You hear the remnants of the blend of many genres. But can you pin us to one specific genre? I think our songs all kind of tell a different story. So I think it depends on which one of her songs you're listening to. If you heard one Luzma song, you'd be like, oh, you guys are this genre, right? But then you'd listen to a different song, you're like, oh, maybe not so much. Maybe they're a different genre, right? So, which is part of what I enjoy working with these guys. So.
I've tried to like sneak in some of my influences in there a lot. I was really into Nile Rodgers, so like I got in really heavy into disco, and I kind of like snuck it in there during Super Collider, and
Unconsensually or non-consensually, whatever the
it was
proper term is.
consensual, but the distortion was added afterwards, so it went from being disco to like disco metal, like for like a hot second. But I don't know if it comes across as that way, but that's the way like it came. That's where like it kind of came from.
Because those are kind of fighting terms there. Disco and rock and roll have never really gotten along too much. I guess Kiss made a whole album of it, but
Well, you got
Dynasty's on.
Panic at the Disco.
true.
Yeah.
They're like disco and like a
Are
little
they
bit
disco,
of like.
or is it
Are
just
they?
disco in the name?
Yeah, I was
Disco in
gonna
the
say.
name, right?
I'm pretty sure
Which
if you
makes
look
it
at the
disco.
drum beats,
That
you know a
was-
lot of like Foo Fighters or like Nirvana, whoever Dave Grohl was fucking drumming for, Nirvana.
Yes.
He had stolen a lot of like disco beats. I guess not stolen. Had gotten inspired by disco beats
commandeered.
to make Nirvana songs.
Yeah.
So I mean, who knows?
Yeah,
Maybe they did take some Panic at the Disco.
inspiration does come from everywhere. Absolutely. Now, when did Luzma start? Tell us about the origins of the band.
Geo for
Luzma
sure.
started, like officially started in like 2017. I started recording like demos by myself, and after I had like 2 songs in like a kind of rough demo form, I posted them online. I basically made like a whole like build in, they'll come. I was like, hey, I have these 2 songs. I want to play this kind of style of music. I'm influenced by American football, Jimmy Eat World. And it's like, if you want to play something with me, or like if you'd like to perform this stuff live, shoot me a message. I have a lot of musicians, as we probably all do, like on our Facebooks and everything. And I started receiving a few messages from a couple of drummers, a couple of bass players, and Gamma was one of the first people to message me. And I had like 1 or 2 other drummers, but they were further, and I kind of didn't like. Gamma was like the most responsive, and like seemed like they were like the most
Around
like,
the corner, he was the nearest guy.
well, not just that, yeah, not just that, but they also like, I would send them stuff because I started working on Pachinko at that time too, and I literally was like, I need to send them a 3rd song so we could get together and like have more than just 2 songs to jam to, like just to have more material to practice to once we get together. And so like I like whipped up Pachinko's like bass like spine, like not finished, but most of the guitar work was already there, and just sent it to Gamma, and they would send me stuff back because they would record on this like Tascam recorder thing and send me back drums, and we did email, like we were doing like emailing back and forth files and everything. And after that, as Elle mentioned earlier, I kind of always had the
Bully.
I always had the energy to go and like wake them up and make them do stuff with me musically. So I asked them like, hey, can you come and play guitar for this band? And I'm assuming.
And then Elle was like, "Hey, can
they
you
were
put
like,
the gun away?"
sure,
But
I
sure,
guess.
yeah.
And then we had this other bassist, which we will not mention by name.
You're just bringing up all the bad beats today.
That's not.
No, they used to like they used to play with us, and they didn't get along with or I think Gamma didn't really like them that much. Not crazy. Didn't get along. They didn't get along with everybody that much, and
Leave me alone.
no.
No, I think so. A lot of that kind of had to do with. I'll be honest. I think we were in different places. I don't want to say like talent-wise, because talent is different than like skill or kind of where you're at. But
I think skill-wise is
musically,
probably the thing.
I think we had probably years of practice
Like
behind
10
our
years.
crafts, and when you're trying to be creative and you're not at the same level as somebody else, it's not a fun time, right? For either party. They're either too far ahead and you can't keep up, or you just feel like you're getting dragged behind, right? So there is something to be said about finding the right people at the right time, and I think that person just wasn't at the right time, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure. I mean, it's been years now, right?
I mean,
6
they'd get
years.
mad at us too for like all this other stuff. just
I'm not gonna
because-
talk about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, but that being
I
said,
mean,
yeah.
some of it kind of spilled from that, I think, right? So
Yeah. And then we found our bassist afterwards, and like the writing process really began there because we were kind of stuck on our songs Rat King and what was it The Forest at the time. Those two songs were like we were kind of stuck because they weren't really writing bass parts for it, and they would ask us constantly like what the key of the song was, and I would tell them, and they still wouldn't write anything like. So, yeah, it was yeah, I can go over like every little detail that what leads to us now, but I should probably stop there. I already told you the origin, right? Like,
yeah,
made some
it's so
demos.
funny though. You know what? So that's like Gio. Gio was kind of like the central piece, right? He pieced Luzma together. I think Luzma came together pretty quickly once he reached out looking for people to play. But it's so funny because the reason I added Gio on Facebook was the typical reason any musician adds anybody else is because he had a guitar in his profile and I wasn't in a band at the time. And
It's like a fish in a dating
yeah,
profile.
yeah.
That's like my don't add. Like I don't add people. if
Well, not
I get a
anymore,
request, if I get a request and they have a guitar in their hand, I'm just like,
So
I don't know. Have I met these people in real life? Probably not. You know.
But honestly, I didn't know who Gio was like at all. And apparently we shared some friends. We had some friends in common, or we have some friends in common.
We
but
shared
I
the
wasn't
stage
aware.
once too.
Apparently.
There's
So,
different
but
bands.
yeah, different times. And I was just looking for anything, honestly. And when Gio he posted up some tracks, and I was like, I thought of the music as like I was like, this is really pretty. But I had just come from metal, and I was looking for something probably a lot heavier. And at the same time, though, I was kind of just like, I kind of want to just do anything, right? Like musically, like things were dry, and I was just like, I'm willing to collaborate with anybody, anywhere, kind of do anything, right?
There's nothing
And Gio
better,
reached
right?
out. I had absolutely no other options, so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna give this a shot. I reached out to Gio, and if you remember, some of our first conversations were just like, I made it very clear, and I was like, I want to play drums to your tracks. I don't want to be your drummer, and I don't want to be in a band, right? Like I kind of just want to like
Yeah.
chill and like make stuff, and then kind of dip out whenever I'm ready.
Just keep
And
it
that was
casual.
yeah.
I think we've
kind
both
of
had
just
that.
like
Reminds
don't
me of my
wanna
last
sign any
relationship.
when I first made those posts, I kind of deliberately said like, who wants to help me perform these things? Like,
Yes.
It wasn't really like even like we were collaborating. It was the idea that I was gonna write stuff, and like mainly program stuff, or maybe have some input on some drum parts. But especially early on, and even to this day, to Gamma's dismay, I still occasionally ask for specific drum beats. But back then it was more so like, hey, I want this here, and then they put some creative influence on it, but then it would mostly be just like me just directing everything.
But it was cool. It really quickly developed, and I mean, it wasn't 2 or 3 practice or sessions together where I was like, you know what, I like this, and it's so weird. I started exploring a new genre or new style of music that I had been typically kind of staying away from, and it was awesome. And it's honestly changed my musical tastes from 6 years ago to now, or however long we've been together. 7 years.
I remember sending stuff to him just to listen to, because we were just kind of getting an idea of like, oh, what are we doing? And like I was like, this is what I'm trying to do. And I think I sent him like Totoro, sent him Clever Girl,
which Totoro, one of my favorite bands of all time. Amazing.
Sent him obviously mentioned American football because everybody probably knows, or most people know American football.
I had
to
not.
this day.
Yeah. Probably still kind of uninitiated.
I think
to music.
another random fact is when we started recording our first like demos, I used the band Chinese Football as like a reference of how I wanted like the drums to sound, and we literally just played a show with Chinese Football like last month on the 15th.
That must have been pretty cool for you guys.
It was amazing.
That was the best.
I was so hyped for that show.
How did that come about? Like who? Like you guys get an email or something?
Yes,
like,
it's so cool.
that?
So years ago, I can't remember what had to be. I don't know. Probably right before COVID. Somebody reached out to us. I don't know how or why, but somebody reached out to us from a band, just kind of booking us for a show. and they said that was their album release, and we were like, hell yeah, all excited. So we went to go play this show, and that's how we met the band. In that band, we'll shout out Bridget. Oh my God, I'm gonna butcher her last name. Stybris.
I think. I don't know. Sorry.
Sorry, Bridget.
Stybris.
Love you. She was the drummer for the band, and we kind of got along. And so I started following her, and she's amazing. So drummer / guitarist, vocalist. I think like she has some sort of definitely like degree inside of like whether it's like music engineering or music promotion. And I've just followed her for years, right? And I'm like looking at her developer skills, and I'm just I use her as inspiration, because I'm like, this girl's like figuring out her life, like living my dream or whatever. And it's cool. It's super cool. I'm so happy for her, and she's like a part of like several projects now. And so just through that connection, she works for Kickstand now.
Nice.
And it just so happened that Chinese Football was booking that show at Subterranean, which is typically booked out by Kickstand, right? And I was just like, let me shoot her a message, right? So
Nice.
To this day, I still don't know if she had any direct involvement or not. I would assume she did, right? Because it wasn't not 2 or 3 weeks later, we got an email offering us to open up the show. And I mean, I nearly crapped my pants, right? So that was amazing. I couldn't believe it.
Awesome.
When I got I'm pretty sure I'm the first one to read it, because I was like looking at my phone, get the update for the email. I literally saw it, read it, and like ran around screaming in my apartment, like,
That's
holy shit!
dope.
Like, I was freaking out. But
That's so
yeah,
crazy. I remember that day in practice where we were like, imagine opening a show for Chinese football.
Yeah, I think it was the day they announced the American tour. I think
Yeah.
that's specifically, we were like, we should find out. Like, I'm pretty sure we know.
No,
somebody.
I meant the first day in practice, like years ago.
We're
talking about like.
Oh, I
whatever,
thought
like
we were
6,
talking
7
about when they
recently.
announced the tour.
No,
and
like
we
6,
were
7
let's
years
get
ago, we were
booked.
just in
Let's book
practice,
this.
and it's kind of like one of those like dreams where you're just like, imagine that, imagine we got booked.
That's always a
You know?
cool feeling when like bands get to open up for like one of their like fucking people that they've been listening to for a while.
I
It's
think
always cool.
you've opened for this one band that I really enjoy, Sincerely.
Oh, dude, yeah,
Yeah,
they're
I think
dope.
you've opened for them twice. I
Oh,
think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we booked them when we were playing Michigan, and we went to go play with them. I think last year. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then they also came by. I forgot when, but yeah, no, they're pretty
Yeah,
cool
they're
people.
sick.
Yeah.
They're sick.
You know, you guys manifested it. You know, it's good to put it out into the universe and
Yeah.
have hopes and dreams. And you never know, the universe works in mysterious ways.
Maybe. I think some of it had to do with, I don't know, man. I'm slightly shy, I guess, in reaching out to certain people at certain times with whatever, and that was just a moment where I was just like, fuck my shyness. Like, I gotta do this. I gotta send this message, right? And Bridget's so goddamn nice. She's so nice, and she's so helpful, and man, it just felt good. And I was just like, why was I shy? Why was I shy to do that? And it makes you wonder if you've ever lost opportunities in the past just by not asking or whatever.
Of course,
But
that's the main way you lose opportunities most times.
By
Is
not
by just
taking
not
them.
doing anything and not taking them.
That's like the way you lose them, but then by asking is the best way to gain opportunities. You know, just a simple email, simple message, whatever. So that's pretty cool.
The worst they can say is no.
Yeah. And then Taylor Swift and Metallica opened for us the other week too. How we just made that post.
Yeah, no, we
Yeah.
just emailed Taylor
Paramore?
Swift.
Yeah.
They were like, yeah, cool.
Yeah, I called her actually.
Oh,
Never
shit.
saw.
Yeah, Taylor
dial?
Swift's number.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tay Tay's texting me all the time.
Who's
Yeah,
who's her
Tay-Tay.
fucking boyfriend or whatever?
Jason Kelsey.
Damn.
Taylor Lautner? No,
I
that
don't
was like 20 years ago, right? No, I'm kidding.
I don't think anybody. I don't know. But I don't think anybody in Luzma is really a sports kind of dude. I think Gio's some baseball,
Yeah,
right?
I like baseball, but I'm pretty casual. I go for the hot dogs on dollar dog days.
I thought you were gonna name a team, and I thought the team was hot dogs, and I kind of believed it for a split second.
There are the Chicago Dogs.
Yeah.
They play out of Rosemont. Yeah.
Were you guys around for the Home Depot hot dogs? Do you guys remember that?
Oh
shit?
yeah, Depot
Oh,
Dogs,
they
Daddy
still-
Dogs.
Did you
Yeah.
know they made
Do
2 years ago they dropped a Wagyu one?
Oh shit.
No way.
Oh,
Yeah,
Nah, you're full
they
of
would
it.
get mad when you order them because they didn't have them on deck. They had to pull them out and then cook them because
It's nobody. would
yeah,
order
they
them.
probably would have them frozen or something. You
That's
know, 'cause-
terrible.
So yeah, they'd be like, all right, it's gonna be 10 minutes.
Going down the line, what's everyone's guilty pleasure meal?
Well, before we do that, let's go down the line. Introduce yourselves to everyone tuning in. Tell us your name, where you're from, what instrument you play in the band, and Tell us your guilty food pleasure.
Yeah.
Your guilty food pleasure.
Guilty food pleasure.
More name.
I'm Iggy.
Iggy Big.
I play with your mom. No, I'm just kidding.
Dude, that's my favorite instrument.
Mine too. We all played that.
It's only a MIDI.
So my name's Gama, or it's short for Gamaliel, but the name is too long, so you can just Gama, right? I play drums. Inside Luzma, and I don't know. Well, what's it? What do you mean guilty pleasure food? Like I don't know. I just eat shit. Like guilty pleasure. I mean everything's bad for you.
What's your
I don't know.
splurge?
What's my
meal.
splurge? I'll be honest. All I had for lunch today was like a salad with like no protein. So in my mind, I'm like Portillo's double bacon cheeseburger.
I just
That's
had
what
that
I'm
too.
thinking. You fucking dirty dog.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have one
those
later for
too.
sure. On the way home. That's where I'm going.
All right, my turn.
Down the line.
All right. My name is Giovanni Gomez. I am from my family's from Guanajuato, Mexico. But you can call me PUBG. Everybody does, and I'm kind of
Nobody does.
Literally,
No.
people go up to me and they're like, "Yo, PUBG," especially yeah.
Where did that name come from?
It's from. I used to play Super Smash Bros. And you know how like you would put your name when you would fight. I used to play and go to competitions every now and then, and it's only 4 characters, so I would just put Pup G for Geo, and Pup was because one of my friends at the time would nickname me Pup, and it was a girl, so.
Is it because you got that dog in you?
Yeah. That, you know
Makes
that
sense.
little dog walking with the ice cream cone on its head. You know what I'm talking about? The little meme. It looks like
Dude has
Snoopy.
the weirdest.
Well, yeah,
names, I
that's the
swear.
dog that's in me. You know.
He's just a
Or
child.
Never
Or
start
is
a
it the
private
chill
chat.
dude dog?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The little Snoopy sleeping as a baby.
We'll put a picture up at some point.
But yeah, that name goes back. I was like 12 or 13 when I came up with it, and I just kind of use it as like my gamer tag, or I think I have like a Twitch page with it that I haven't used in like 4 years. That has like a little logo. I have a little tattoo on my finger that's a little puppy, but it's all worn out.
Want to hold up to the camera?
Yeah, it's really worn. It's really worn out.
Looks like a cat.
Yeah, people
does
tell
look
me
a
that
lot like a
it
cat.
does look like a cat, but it's supposed to be like a little Shiba Inu.
Little Dogecoin cat.
Yeah, kinda. But
To them.
But yeah, my splurge meal, and I've done this a few times, is there's this ramen place. They have a tonkatsu ramen that I love. It's called Forbidden Noodle. It's in LaGrange. I'll go there. I'll get the tonkatsu ramen with like an extra spicy oil that they have, and then just down the street they have Andy's. I don't know if you've ever been to like an Andy's frozen custard.
No.
So I'll eat a bowl of ramen, and then I'll go to Andy's and I'll get like a concrete or something, like with like blueberry stroop waffle or something like that, and I'll just feel terrible for the next 2 days. But it's amazing. It tastes amazing. That's my splurge right there.
That's good splurge.
I'm Miggy. I play bass. I'm from Chicago, and I met everybody pretty much. Well, I was kind of like a fan of the band already, so I would like go to their shows and stuff. But yeah, like I would just watch them, and I was like give them my support and all that. So it was kind of cool when they asked me to actually like join the band. I was kind of like, I looked at my phone and then I was kind of like, nah, they're playing. I'm like, they're playing.
Did
Nah.
I send you that message?
Yeah. I think he hit me up and he was like, can you do me a favor? He's like, can you do me a favor? I was like, oh, sure, yeah, sure. And then I was like, wait a minute, hold on.
That's
But,
so funny because when you think about the other side of the story, it's like we had practice, just the 3 of us, when we were looking for a bassist, and several times the question of like, hey, can anybody reach out to Iggy and see if he's like interested? And like nobody would. I don't know. It felt kind of weird. Sure, you get rejected or whatever. And maybe it goes back to what we talked about earlier. But if you don't ask, you never know, right? But I guess it's like we didn't want to bother him, or we didn't want to have to like put him in a situation where he felt like he had to, practice or join or whatever. And man, it's so crazy that he talks about it from the other side, like like he's so appreciative or whatever, shocked by the fact that. But we freaking talked about that so many times, and it's like, oh my god, it's right there.
I was kind of like, damn, for real? Like me? I'm like me.
I think the
I'm
main
just
reason.
a chill guy.
I think the main reason why I took so long to message him was because I had spoken to them in a while, and they told me they sold like almost all their gear, if not all their gear. So
Yeah,
I
that's
assumed they were done with like music. So I just didn't want to try to like dig them out of the proverbial grave and like be like, let's go. They didn't like huck them over my back and bring them back to life or something. But
you did.
yeah. I kind of
Back
did.
to
And then I did that, and they bought like 3 bases in the span of like a month.
Like 17 amps.
Yeah, and I
That's
was
not
like, what the fuck?
exaggeration. That's
Jesus.
That's not exaggeration.
I was like,
You did
Why?
really good.
you gotta,
That's a good question.
You know, it's because you got an outfit and then you gotta match it with the bass. You know.
They gotta,
That's a good point.
they gotta
That's
fit
a good
the slides, you know.
Yeah.
Looking good's half the battle.
But go on, we interrupt you for
Guilty
the
pleasure.
guilty
Um,
pleasure meal.
Oh yeah, my guilty pleasure meal. Man, it's between like 3 places because I've had the same thing for like 20 years at each one. It's either Panda Express, Subway, it's
Blanda Express, you know what I'm saying?
okay, but
No
it's
taste, you know what I'm saying?
or usually McDonald's. McDonald's.
What do you order though?
At each place, it's always double orange chicken with the rice, and then Subway, it's either the footlong, the turkey footlong with everything on it, and then for McDonald's, I always, I go safe. I go 2 McDoubles and large fries.
Oh, I thought you were gonna hit us with the Big Mac meal. You know what I'm saying?
Nah.
You guys remember the dollar menu?
Dude, the dollar menu
ever-
got me
Fuck
through
that
college.
shit.
You,
Bro.
you remember when Taco Bell had like things below $1? The beefy crunch, no, the 5-layer burrito was 89 cents when it dropped 10 years ago.
Dude, yeah.
It's almost $4 now.
So yeah, I used to go to McDonald's back when I was in like high school, and with like $5, I would feed my munchies, man. I would smoke like a whole blunt and then just fucking and just go straight to McDonald's with
Yeah.
$5, bro. I'd buy me like 2 McChickens, 2 McDoubles, and a fucking large Coke. Boom.
What were you
Dude.
buying Dro back in the day? Like, before like everybody had Kush, Kush.
Yeah, I was buying
Dro.
I was buying Reggie back in the day.
Reggie's and Dro is
I
what
was
I used to
fucking-
get thrown, you know.
That Reggie though.
Reggie's rock
If you
bottom.
didn't smoke weed with seeds in it, you're not an OG stoner.
I still smoke weed with seeds
Wait a
in it
minute.
now. No, I have weed at home with seeds in it, but I haven't.
Did you grow it
smoked
yourself?
Yeah.
Sunflower seeds?
That's the only acceptable reason that you have
Well, of course,
weed
yeah.
with
Like,
seeds.
Barbie
it's, just,
seeds?
it's there just to be used personally when you want to smoke and
Sure,
feel-
yeah, personal.
Yeah, I sell it to like 8th graders, you know. Not just I don't do that.
Spray it with some shit.
We're
Yeah,
looking
there's
for
some
a new
chocolate
guitar.
kush, bro.
Yeah. Just go and get the bag of Sour Patch Kids and take the leftover sour things and sprinkle
That's
on it.
wild,
Tell them,
man.
tell them they're the trichomes.
Slays with
Like,
cocaine now, guys.
it's-
Get you super fucked up.
Nah, it's
got
the
like a
crystals,
caramel
dude. It's
taste
just
to
the.
it.
Yeah. Why is it sour? You know?
Why does it taste like oregano?
Mm,
Spicy.
It's an Italian,
Chill
blend. You know?
That makes you the chill guy.
Yeah.
Well,
Let's
Yeah.
keep going down the line.
Yeah, sure. Name's L. I'm not really ashamed of anything that I love what I love. I'll eat a shit ton of Panda Express. I'll get the bigger box with the orange chicken and everything. That's just delicious. But speaking of seeds, I guess this is kind of a weird thing that I used to eat all the time. What I would do is I would get one of those like red Solo cups, and I would fill it with a bunch of pumpkin seeds inside of there, and then like with the shells and everything, and on top of that I would pour a bunch of Valentina on there,
noise.
a bunch of tahine or salt or lime or whatever, and I would just like get a spoon and I would eat the pumpkin seeds whole with Valentina
God,
in
dude.
there, just like
Your ass
Shells
must
and
have been
everything?
shitting
Yeah.
afterwards,
Wait a
you know.
minute.
All
shit
that
with pumpkin
fiber,
seeds.
all that fiber coming out, it must have been spiky, you know.
Wait, real quick. You eat the seeds and pumpkins, right? Or like
Yeah.
with the
The
shell
shell?
on?
Yeah, they ate it with the shell.
With the shell
I
on,
used
yeah.
to do that.
You eat
Yeah.
it straight up, yeah.
Yeah.
You don't pick them out.
But is that how you're supposed to do it?
No,
a
That's
lot
all
of
I've-
people
I've
take
done
them
it.
off.
Yeah.
A lot of most people I've talked to tell me like not to do that at this point.
To take it off? Yeah. I would just eat it whole, right?
Yeah, I think it's better when they're a little more crispier, like they're a little more toasted.
Bake them, yeah.
But if they're not super toasted, then yeah, it kind of sucks to eat them that way.
Sometimes I eat bananas with the peels on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why?
Lying.
More fiber.
Why? Is it
Quit
just
lying.
you want to feel
That
like
just sounds like a way to get
Who
diarrhea.
hurt
you know?
you? What?
From the side, too. It's
Yeah,
not
yeah,
like-
yeah. So I grab it
Do you
from
have
the side,
trust
yeah.
issues with bananas or
Oh,
something?
definitely, for sure.
Eat them sideways. You know, like,
My trust issues stem from watermelons all the way to bananas.
I'm afraid to ask.
Do you eat like the watermelon peel too, like the whole like hard part at the bottom?
Yeah, I put a little bit of salt and pepper on it.
Really?
You can fry it and eat
I
it.
throw
It is
out
edible.
the inside because it's way too soft for me to eat. I only
You eat pistachios.
I
You
only
eat
like
pistachios with the seed, like the
You're like-
shell.
Do you guys ever eat watermelon? I hate that red shit inside. Fucking worst.
I only like foods that hurt to eat.
I gotta introduce you to kale. It's little razor blades with greens.
You guys ever try cactuses?
Yeah, of
The
course.
best thing
yeah.
ever.
Grew up on cactuses.
Fucking Mexican.
Oh, I mean,
Really
you guys
hurt
ever
my
tried
ass.
nopales?
I don't like them. I don't like them.
Whoa,
I also
whoa,
don't
whoa,
like them,
whoa.
but
I don't like them.
That's a little racist, bro.
I don't know.
Just kidding.
Where my family's from in Mexico, there's like taquerias that no matter what you order, they
Oh.
always give you like a grilled nopal.
that has no problem.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
so you know, growing up, you're just like, I don't want to touch that, but then eventually you're just like,
Fuck it.
It is what it is.
fills me up, you know?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
No thanks.
Now, tell us a little bit more about your band too. It's I noticed on your Spotify page, it's really cool to see all your album covers, how they're all kind of
Oh.
pixelated. They look like a video
They're
game.
not, we don't have albums, and I just
Yeah.
like,
So that's funny enough. Yeah, that's all.
they're like single releases. You know,
Yeah.
we do the single release format, and we've commissioned a bunch of artists to do that. We originally went with like this whole video game aesthetic thing in the beginning because we're all fans of video games, especially Gamma and we both collect retro games and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a big part of the reason why they're like that. And
So one thing that I always wanted to do is, I mean, times are changing, right? I feel like it's not about albums. Sometimes people just dig up like singles, and I didn't want to drop like 5 or 10 singles that all had the same album art. I wanted them to be unique, and I wanted each song to be its own story, and I wanted each song to have its own like focus and time to shine. And so I found that like, yeah, spotlight. And so I really found that like giving each one its own art would allow each song to tell its own story. So I think eventually we'll probably work our way to like album or some sort of like, you know, release where we'll put all the songs that kind of match together. But for right now, I think even upcoming, we're probably still looking at like, I definitely still want to make sure that every single song has art and that every piece of art matches something, some sort of storytelling element, you know, to each one of the songs. So yeah, we're almost ready. We're almost ready.
my own 2 cents for like the whole different art too was because a lot of that stuff, you know, our releases have been like kind of drawn out, and a lot of that stuff is stuff we did write a little earlier, and we didn't we I mean, to this day we still kind of have this mentality where we're not writing ourselves into a corner with like how each song should sound. And I just felt like the energy between each song was just so different. Like if you listen to The River, it's all sad to the point where we had demos of it.
That one, yeah.
Oh, sorry, The Forest. Sorry, when we had The Forest, when we wrote it, we jokingly titled it like on the demos, "Saddy Waddy Feelsy Wheelsies."
What?
And
Oh yeah.
and like Super Collider is such an upbeat song, like musically, and like if you compare them side to side, they're nothing alike. Like they almost wouldn't even fit together if you put them like on a playlist, unless you had a lot of transitions in between. And I feel like a lot of our songs, especially the earlier stuff, kind of have that feel where like they're not super in line with each other. And I mean, this next stuff that we're planning on releasing soon is, I think, a lot more cohesive. It still has that vibe where like some things are pretty different, but I feel like you could smack them together and it works better than if you did it with the last stuff. But that's definitely, for me personally, I think that's a goal for me to like make an album, make it have like, if not a concept, then just like a very uniform like tight feel to it, where it sounds like something you can just kind of binge in one go, and you get an experience out of it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So one super cool thing that I think has happened to us over time now, and we're starting to get there, is not only are we getting to know ourselves as a musician or as an artist for what we want or how we want to influence each one of our songs that we write, but because we all write our own parts, right? It's not like We really collaborate too much or tell each other what to do. I mean, we might talk about how we want something to sound, but everybody does their work, right, in writing the songs. And so we're discovering, we're figuring out who we are and then putting that into our music. But we're also discovering who we are as an artist, right? Even now with the inclusion of Iggy, the type of music that's coming out inside of our practice sessions, the new stuff that we're writing, it's just different because we have a new element, right? And so the way I see bands is always like, you're never gonna be able to create the same exact sound with different people, right? If you have 4 people, you remove one, you add somebody different, it's a new band. They can keep the same name and they can try and write in the same style, but it's never gonna be exactly the same. And I think that our combination of 4 that we have currently is just we know each other now. We know where we want to go. We know what we're doing. We know what we want to do, and no other combination of any other 4 people inside of this earth could make that same exact sound in that same exact way. So I really appreciate that, right? And I think that's something we're nearing. The farther into our career as musicians, as a band together, we're defining our sound. We're defining who we are. But it's so cool that at the same time, like Gio said, we're not painting ourselves into a corner. We're willing to explore. And that's why so many of our songs are so goddamn long. I mean, we have songs that are 5.5 minutes, 7.5 minutes. The Forest is like 9.5 or 10 minutes from beginning to end. And when we're writing, we're just like, we don't want to be like, okay, and I'm not very good at like freaking whatever, like constructing song structure or whatever, but it's never like, oh, part A, part B, part C, okay, we need to finish the song now, it's getting too long. It's always just like, does this feel like the end, or does this feel like we have more? Does it feel like we can connect it with something else? And we just go until we feel it. And we'll jam out songs for weeks, months sometimes, till they feel right. And we're not putting limits on anything. And so at first, I think we were all kind of scared, like, is this too long? Are people going to want to listen to a 7-minute song, 6-minute song? And we were just kind of like, you know what, forget it. Like, we're just going to do it. We're just going to do it. We're going to play it. And I mean, thus far, it seems like it's been a success. So it's been super cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty interesting that when you guys write like 7-minute songs, they like come out really good and like people actually want to listen to them, considering the fact that like nowadays, like because of like the internet, people's attention spans have gotten so short that like everyone's afraid to write 5 even like 4-minute songs sometimes is way too long in some people's opinions. Do you guys ever take that into consideration, like having to like go with like whatever the internet wants, or is it something that you guys are like, fuck that shit, like we're just gonna write music for us?
So yes, to an extent I do. I actually find like I have a very deep interest with the whole like making a song that's catchy and like you just want to hear it again immediately after playing it, and it's just part of it is just because it's so short. Like there's this band called CD Ghost that I listen to, and they have this song. I'm trying to remember what it's called. I listen to it so fucking much, but it's like 2 minutes and 30 seconds long, and like to me, I just can't think to myself like how do they condense so much energy and like such a fun thing into 2 minutes and 30 seconds, you know? The same thing with like that one Little Uzi Vert song. What's it called? EXO Tour Life. That's like 2 minutes and 30 seconds long too. And when I first heard that song, I thought it was like, oh, this is awesome. I love this thing. And I have an interest with that. Like it doesn't always translate because we do stick to that whole like if it feels like we can keep going, we'll do it. But like I definitely always have it like in the back of my head where I'm just like, you know, I don't want to overstay certain things welcome. Like, you know, some people love, you know, and even me, like I love songs that have like the same like riff that's kind of just droning and you're feeling it for a while. Like Goodbye Sky Harbor by Jimmy Eat World does that. Like it's like 16 minutes long, and a good chunk of it is literally like the same like guitar like picking like over and over again with just like minor changes every few like repeats, you know. And same thing with like Stay Home by American Football. That song is pretty long, and like a good chunk of it is literally just that intro riff. And it's I love stuff like that, but at the same time I do appreciate that shortness it's something that I strive to achieve myself, like making something catchy and short and that hits. But yeah, there's something I was gonna say earlier, but I can't remember now.
Still got plenty of time to
Yeah, of
remember.
course.
We are getting some pretty great comments coming in here. I'll read some out for you. RA 1908 says "Que pedo aguante Luzma." What does that mean?
It's
Did I just say?
¿Qué pedo? Aguante
Huicho,
Luzma?
Huichito, ¿cómo estás? ¿No? Yes. Good
¿Cómo?
friend.
What does that mean?
What? Which one?
That one.
¿Qué pedo? It's like.
Pedo.
What's up?
What's good?
Yeah,
Oh,
something
okay,
like
okay.
that.
Quite
What's
literally
good?
translates to what fart.
Yeah.
Yeah, but-
So you can't translate directly Spanish and English most of the time because it'll mean.
It's not a
if-
science.
hard.
If you
It's
take
an
it
art,
literal,
you
it'll
know?
mean something completely different.
It's
Gotcha.
slang, basically. It's like
Well,
a slang term.
Good farts to you too. Thanks for tuning in. We appreciate the Hawk Winds breeze. We got a message from Puffable Shy saying, "When's the next release dropping?" Heart.
Oh, I think that's
Oh.
Jack.
Bullshit.
Is that?
Puffable
Oh,
Shy.
thanks.
I think that's
Um,
Jack.
Jack
Yeah.
Emery.
Yeah.
Oh,
What's
wow.
up,
Boy.
Jack? Good to hear.
December.
From you,
No,
buddy.
just playing. No, we don't have no dates.
Oh.
I'll take that question. And
Go
you know
ahead.
what? A lot of this is I'll take the blame. 100% my fault.
No. I don't
Yeah,
think it is.
100% my fault. There's a specific way that I would like to promote and release songs moving forward, and I feel like so we have 5 songs in the chamber at the moment, and we've already played them live, but I mean, to put them up online on Spotify and Apple Music to where potentially the world can hear. We cross our fingers that maybe we could finally cross those thresholds and get into like the thousands of listens or tens of thousands of listens would be amazing, right? And I want to make sure that we do it right. Like if we're gonna give it a shot, I want to make sure that we give it the best shot possible, right? So I want to make sure we release things in a very specific way, and that happens to be as singles, you know, 8 weeks apart or 2 months apart. Each song I want it to have its own specific art, right? Its own independent art. I want each song to have its own kind of like time to shine. And so we've struggled with finding artists. I've reached out to people. We've got ghosted by multiple people, and I'm like,
Paid people and they never gave me stuff. You know?
unfortunate.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it's kind of like, how do we get that money back? But oh well. I mean, it is what it is. And yeah, it's been really hard, and I'll reach out to people, and I'm also, so it's not that we're trying to get away from that pixelated art style that we've used in the past. We love it, but we also don't want to have it overstay its welcome, or for anybody to be like, oh, look at these guys, they're not creative, or they're not changing, or they're just not willing to adapt, or whatever. So we do want to explore other art styles, and so that's what we're doing. But it's been hard. It's been hard to reach out and just get people to respond. Man, I had one guy respond, and it seemed like they were an amazing artist, and I was like, I can't wait to work with this guy. And so I'm reaching out, and I'm kind of telling him what the kind of stuff that I was looking for, and then he replies probably the next day with like 10 pieces of art, and I was just like, what?
Oh, this is.
I was like, is this
I
guy
remember
that
that.
incredible?
Yeah, I remember that.
But then so I was sharing some of the stuff with these guys, and I was like, this looks like AR generated.
AI.
Yeah, 100%.
And
I
we
know
really
some
looked
people
at
are
it.
really into that, but
And he was good. However, he was, well, I'm gonna fuck up your studio. So however he was generating that art, it was good. It was awesome. And I wanted to use it, but there's no way. I mean, I could just cut it, right? So
I was about to ask y'all if is that something you would look into, or are you very anti AI?
I'm not anti AI, but I also want to support artists, right? And it didn't seem like the right time or the right way. I think AI art has a time and place, and as one of our album arts or single arts, it was not the place
Yeah.
for that.
I think AI art works best for like things that you don't really intend to be remembered too much. I think it's great for flyers. I think it's great for promotional things that you use to like just talk about events that are gonna happen that, you know, people may not remember a year from later, or like little things like that. Maybe even just random posts where you're just kind of sharing an idea or something. But I feel like if we're gonna put something out there and we want it to like stick, you know, stand the test of time, I'd feel better having like a real artist behind it.
For sure.
Personally, I feel like AI is best used for memes about cats.
meow,
Exactly. Yes.
I've been meaning a sound check like that, but it's already been done by like the fans of Billie Eilish, so it's like
Yeah.
the joke's already it's out the window, you know.
I feel like cover art for singles or albums are always like really personal to like the artists themselves. So like having AI do it, just AI is, like you said, is something good for something generic, but like something personal, like album cover or something
100%.
that's you want somebody with like an actual like soul behind it. You know what I mean?
So I don't know if you guys are familiar with Hannibal Buress, comedian,
yeah.
but also
No, I never
musician,
heard of
right?
him, no.
And I actually went to his show at the Chop Shop. It was like 2-3 months ago, and he used AI live in his performance, where like every time he would say a word, he had a projector behind him. That word would feed into the mic, which would feed into like the AR generated whatever, and then it would throw up memes of whatever words he was saying. So if he said tacos, now all of a sudden you have a bunch of different GIFs and memes and pictures of tacos in the background. And if he said banana, the same, right? So to me, that's an awesome way to use AI, right? It's creative, it's different. It's also not permanently recorded anywhere, and it's in the moment. Nobody's ever gonna be able to experience that same exact show in the same exact way, and it's very special. So that was a creative use of AI, where album art wouldn't be, right? So for sure. But to answer your question, was it puffable child?
Puffable shot.
Yeah, so we're finally there. It took a long time. But I have all the art. I'm waiting on one more. It's probably the biggest commission that we've ever made. It cost quite a bit of money, and I'm excited for it. I actually just got some updates on it today. I'm really crossing my fingers. So I think the first or the next Luzma release should be coming early next year, probably sometime January or February. And then again, if our plan goes according, 8 weeks apart. So you'll be having 5 drops, maybe 6 drops next year, and then we'll be writing. We're still writing in between, so hopefully we can continue to drop new music into 2026 as well. So soon puffable. I swear, I try my best.
Big things.
Also, we're talking about
Coming soon.
like more merch drops and stuff. Where if you have anything that you would like to see in merch form, mention it, because we always take suggestions. We're trying to figure out what else we should put out there.
I want some assless chaps. Some Luzma.
You got it.
Luzma assless chaps, please.
They have to be Fenty though, right? Like Fendi? Yeah, Fendi. Yeah.
Yeah.
I see that.
Very cool. Thank you for the comments too. We got a couple others. I just want to give these guys a quick shout out. Brittany Banco says hi.
Hello,
Holy
Brittany.
shit, Brittany.
We love Brittany.
It's
Brittany's been
Brittany
so good.
Beth.
Brittany has literally been helping us out so much.
She's
Who's
helping us.
Brittany?
So Brittany's kind of like
She's
our,
Brittany,
our,
bitch.
our media.
Yeah.
She would love
Whoa.
it.
Where the swords at?
She's I guess our media manager now. She's been going to all of our shows, taking pictures. We went downtown just do some photo shoots. So she's a photographer, videographer, and just good friend, coworker. I love her. I love her to death. And she's been really good to us, really helping us kind of edit videos and all the above. And so
Oh, why is it slime?
yeah. Thanks so much, Brittany, and thanks for listening. Appreciate you.
Is that some merch right there?
No, it's just a.
Oh, it's a cute
I
little holiday
have a
mouse.
bag of like stickers that I teach guitar, and sometimes like after my students' lessons, I'll like, all right, you did good. Pick a mystery sticker.
Aw.
There's razors in there.
If at the end of the show, if we do a good job, can we get a sticker?
You've been really good so far, so yeah, absolutely.
Have I been a good boy?
Yeah.
Fucking love stickers.
I love being a good boy.
Well, thank you for the comment, Brittany. We appreciate it. We also have RA1908 saying, bro, Nepales are the shit.
No.
SHET. It's YouTube. You could say shit.
Shite.
Also, they wanted to know what music are you listening to lately?
I guess we'll go down the line with that one.
Down the line, what are y'all listening to lately?
I don't know, man. Let's not start with me. Let's go with Gio. He knows
Okay.
things.
Okay. So lately, I've been listening to, specifically because I'm trying to study up. I've been working on something else with another group of people. Like
Other than
yeah. Other.
What?
It's a reoccurring
How
theme, by the way.
fucking dare you?
Okay, so
Oh my
God.
a band that I used to
Fucking
play
slut.
with in high school that L was also a member of at the time.
Fucking
Don't talk about
was trying
Man,
to
throwing
trying
you under the bus,
to
bro.
do a reunion,
I always knew you were a
and we're
piece of shit.
a few of us actually kind of stuck to it and kind of threw the reunion idea out. We're just kind of doing something new, but we were just talking about what we wanted to make, and a lot of these guys were like, oh, well, one of them was like, I listen to Spirit Box and like a bunch of other bands like that, and I just been going down the list on that band, listening to it, and I kind of found them to be a little boring, but
Oh,
but I've
no.
been listening to them.
We're about to get a lot of hate comments.
I've been listening to this band called Crazy 88, which I think is like the better Spirit Box.
Whoa.
But I also
Calm down
recently
there,
been
buddy.
listening to like Linkin Park's new releases.
Is that Linkin Park?
Yeah, their new releases with the new vocalist.
I was gonna say, well, I guess after you guys go down the line, I have a question referring to that.
And what else have I been listening to? As of late, I think that's most of what I've been listening to. I've kind of been stuck in a little loop. It's primarily because I switched my platform of music listening. I used to use Spotify a lot. Now I'm on YouTube Music, which has a lot more music, a lot more choices, but their algorithms suck ass. Like it just recommends me things I don't want to listen to all the time, and then after like a certain amount of songs I skip, it just goes like, well, these are songs you play all the time, so here you go. You know, like just listen to the stuff you want. And I'm just like, I don't want to listen. I want to listen to new stuff that's like adjacent. You know, where Spotify basically does that beautifully. Like I can find a whole bunch of artists on Spotify just by letting like a radio station play by a band I like. You know, like, and I don't find myself skipping like 5 songs and like just being like, why am like, if I'm listening to a station that's like Spirit Box, why is like P Diddy coming up, you know, like and that's topic relevant, you know, now, but for real, like
They saw you with the loop,
that
bro.
song what's the song, Need a Girl, whatever it's called, like that stuff like that will come up, and 50 Cent will come up, and like I don't mind 50 Cent and all that stuff, but at the same time it's like that's not like what I'm listening to currently, you know, it's not what the vibes I'm going for or whatever. So the algorithms needs work at YouTube, you know, YouTube Music. But yeah, that's what I'm currently listening to.
Me, mostly like, I guess like hip hop, pop type. There's a guy, he's like, I guess getting up there, you know. His name is Silo Najra. So he's really a chill guy.
He's really a chill guy.
Yeah, his music's just like, you know, it's just a vibe, you know. You gotta relax and just listen to it. And I listen to a lot of like Pop Smoke, sometimes like Bad Bunny, but like throwbacks though.
The early Bad Bunny.
Yeah. I listen to a lot of
The Baby Bunny.
Like Dance Gavin Dance, just stuff like that. I guess on the way here too, I was listening to Michael Bublé because, you know, Christmas time.
So you're like all over the place musically.
Michael Bublé.
That's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, mostly. Well, yeah. There's also this band, Stay Alive or something like that. Huh? Oh yeah. But they have a lot of like funk in their music. So sometimes I'll just like, I'm like, you know, I play bass. I'm just gonna, you know, it's fun. It's fun. And like actually before I actually joined the band, I never really like was very into like playing bass like that. Like I was always kind of like, damn, like it's pretty cool, but I never like, I was like, I don't think I could do it.
Were you in bands before joining these guys?
I was, but it was never. It was mostly like, you know, just let's just write something, or like, it was never anything like, you know, kind of like this where we have like a platform now. But it was mostly just friends, but nothing like serious, you know.
Gotcha.
But you know, pretty much since I started playing bass and getting more into it, I started like seeing a bunch of different genres, and so this bassist uses like this technique, and this bassist kind of does this. So I kind of grab inspiration from everybody, and it's kind of like, all right, I'm gonna try this out on one of the shows, or I'm gonna try this, and I listen to a lot of TTNG. So the bassist has a bass 6 that he modified, and I recently got one, so I'm like,
Nice.
I'm gonna see like what the hype is all about, you know. and I think that's probably one of my favorite basses actually, because it gets a lot of attention too. Like when
Yeah.
we're playing shows,
I bet.
there's always the guitar people that you can tell. It's like, hey, is that a bass? And I was like, oh, I love your guitar. And
You should listen to The Cure too. They use the
they use
basics
for the recordings, yeah.
for a lot of their recordings.
Then yeah, so yeah, I'm kind of a little bit of everything.
That's cool, man.
R&B too. That's probably like one of my favorites.
R. Kelly. Just kidding.
I listen to a lot of R. Kelly. I'm not even gonna lie. I feel ashamed about it sometimes.
Not the music, just like him talking.
Just like his, yeah.
My mind's telling me no. You know, but my body. You know, insert that meme of Shaq like going like, you know, like singing like, yeah, that and yeah, I'm always listening to The Cure. I just have to mention that. Like, I never. Literally, the reason why our first like proper single was called The Forest is because The Cure's first proper single was called A Forest. It's literally like a reference. Like, I love The Cure. Like, they're always something that I'm always visiting and like listening to. And they just dropped an album too, and I forgot that I was giving that a listen to. But yeah, they're awesome.
What
Keep
about you,
going
man?
down the
Yeah,
line.
sure. So my musical taste is always kind of like there's a lot of like background in it in terms of like old school like Mexican or like Latin American boleros. So there's like a bunch of shit like
Metallica.
Los Panchos, Los Tres Reyes, Alvaro Carrillo, all that shit that's like really like romantic sounding and like nylon string guitars, just like they make my heart all warm and bubbly and just I really like listening to it. But also I've been listening to Kim Petras, SZA, Mitski, Radiohead, what else? Michael Sarah Palin, Delta Sleep.
Hermetic Droid.
Delta Sleep.
I just remembered them recently.
What? No, yeah, I've been really into just a bunch of random shit. I've been into Tyler the Creator a lot lately, I guess.
You'd seem like you'd probably be a fan of like gypsy guitar and stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
like,
I
all the,
fuck.
like,
I used to fuck heavy
yeah.
with Django Reinhardt. Like I would
Yeah.
put on "I'll See You in My Dreams" like every single day. Like. The dude was playing with like two fingers. I wasn't flicking anybody off. He got like in a car. No, not a car accident. He was in like a fire or something, and like two of his fingers like got welded together. So he was just playing guitar just like with two fingers.
Just one super finger. Power finger.
Yeah.
Get fingered by
Sometimes
that
you
dude.
only need one or two. You know?
You know, I try to get my
that's
students
wild,
not to
man.
play with one finger, but they try to do that a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, man, like people that like finger pick, bro. Those guys have like friggin' strong ass friggin'.
Yeah, those people are
fingers,
insane.
bro.
I don't know what's
I
up
was
with them.
watching this like They're from like Spain or something. And they do like fucking like like gypsy Spanish music or
Yeah.
whatever, like gitana. You know what I mean? Música
Yeah.
gitana.
Yeah.
And I was watching the dude's fucking fingers. First of all, dude was shredding. Second of all, his fingers look like freaking rocks, bro. Like his fucking all 10 of them, they're just like freaking rocks.
Like
That's
Dwayne
fucking
Johnson or what?
wild. Yeah, they all look like little Dwayne Johnsons.
Little
I'm just
10
kidding.
little Johnson.
But
I remember.
Yeah,
like,
we
in-
all play with
pretty
picks here,
impressive.
you know? That's fine.
And
Me-
where are
me
you a
too.
guitar teacher at?
I teach in like I have my own like private studio thing that I like. I usually get. I used to take a lot of Lyft rides or like Uber drivers or whatever. And a lot of the times, my Uber or Lyft driver would be like, "Hey, you play guitar?" Because I'm like usually like have a guitar on me and like, "Yeah, you want I teach blah blah blah." Like, "Hey, do you want? Can I get lessons from you?" Like, "Okay, sure, yeah." But yeah, I teach at like this music academy in the suburbs. There's another few other places, but yeah, I teach a bunch of different places.
Very cool.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Get business from my Lyft drivers.
Most
Never-
people,
Never know till you ask.
yeah.
I remember back in the early days of Luzma where I still didn't. So Gio and Elle obviously have a long history. They went to school together for many years. I'm the oldest one in the band. I'm an old piece of shit, and so I didn't know them. I didn't know them at all. And when we were having our first practice sessions, it was kind of like still trying to figure out who's who and what they do and what they're good at, or you know, how can we blend our musics together. And Elle just blew me away. I remember I still have videos somewhere on my phone of like me just like being amazed, and I would like whatever put them up on Snapchat or Instagram, and just be like with the, you know, like the mind blowing emoji or whatever, or like fire or whatever, Because L is just amazing. Probably one of the best people to have ever collaborated with, and then Gio's probably at the bottom. So
I'm kind of the chore. I'm kind of like the executive in the room. I just kind of suck the life out of everybody. You know,
literally sucked the life.
Whoa.
Out of
SUCCD.
Periods.
I remember like one of the times when we were first writing Rat King. You kind of like stopped right there and you're like, that sounds like some animals as leaders type shit or something like that. And I was like,
Maybe. It's possible.
who is that? Because I had no idea who that was at the time.
Animals as leaders is great.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, cool. Awesome. Great.
Yeah,
I-
they're so talented.
With Rat King, I remember like Elle came to me with something they wanted me to play. It was like a strumming pattern, and I just wasn't feeling it. And I honestly wasn't feeling Rat King for a while, until the day Gamma heard it and like started playing over it, and I was like, okay, I get this now. And then out of a sudden, like the lights started flashing in my head, and I was like, okay, I know what to do. I know exactly what I need to do. And then Rat King just kind of came out. Same thing with like the Forest.
I think that's
Super
happened a
Collider
couple
took
times.
forever. Super Collider took a while.
It's so crazy that Super Collider took so long, and it's our shortest song, or second shortest song, I guess. But yeah, I mean that happened with was it Mexican foosball where I did the drum thing at the end? No, it's not. It's Pachinko. So I remember when Gio threw over kind of like what Pachinko the structure was. I don't know if he emailed it or whatever, but the end of Pachinko, I was like, I know exactly what I want to do, it was like to the T. Exactly what I wanted to play was what we kept in there, and it just felt right. And so that's happened a lot with us, and it's a good feeling, man. I'm telling you, it's just we're like the right people to be with each other in this band to write this music, right? Like nobody else can do it, so that's cool.
Okay.
And I'm not saying like it's the best music in the world. By far, that's not what I mean. I just mean exactly the product we create is only thing we could make, right?
How do you guys go about like disagreements in the band? Like, I'm sure you guys have some sort of disagreements.
We enter a wrestling ring, and
Plenty of baby oil, like the Romans, you know, or no, the Greeks. You know?
Sure.
Just wearing nothing but the cloths and stuff.
I just
I
realized
retract
Your
my
birthday
previous
suits.
statement.
that clock on the wall, it winds up, and then like each second going by, you could see it. That's pretty cool. That's a cool clock. I'm taking that clock home later, but it's weird. I don't know. We don't have too many like whatever. What do you? It depends what you mean by like arguments, but we definitely don't argue. Like, are we at odds about how things want to happen? I don't know.
Sometimes we are. I think we are.
Yeah, but
I feel like we usually just like talk it out and like just give things like a try. Like if it's like
Yeah.
a creative disagreement in terms of like writing a song, we'll try it out. Like
Yes,
all right, and then we'll
that's
like
exactly-
A/B it and then
Yeah,
decide which one to go with.
exactly.
But when it comes to like
Yeah.
other decisions, we just kind of like talk it out for like a while until we all kind of like get on the same page.
Yeah.
I think
Def-
non-musically, that's probably where most of it comes from.
Yeah,
Musically,
that-
very easy.
Definitely, when it comes to musical, like the way Elle said, we really do just go, okay, I don't know if I like it, but let's try it. Let's see how we all feel about it. If we all vote like we prefer this over that, because we all have when we're writing, we'll all have a say in something. Well, like I may have a completely different idea of how a song should go, and like even a riff or whatever. And I think I could personally I can be really, really like, this is how it should go. And a lot of the times I find myself like listening to Gamma or L and it's just like, all right, fine, let's just hear them both. And if it sounds better, we relent. You know, like it's like, yeah. It's
Yeah,
like,
I think
okay,
some like we've realized it, and it probably goes with a lot of things in life. But like you lose time just not trying it, right? Like guessing about the theory. Like we could talk theory all day. Is it gonna sound like this, or is it gonna be better that way? But we're already in a room. Let's just do it, right? Let's try it both ways. And we've even talked about like we probably have no problem going back to songs we wrote 5 years ago and just rewriting them or adding or taking away or whatever the hell. Like all our music, we did it, right? It's dynamic and we can change it as we see fit. And I mean, we're probably looking to do that anyway, right?
There was this section in Rat King that I always wanted a bass solo to be in, and then only just recently Iggy started adding it, so I was really happy about that.
There's also
It's fun.
one of our newer songs that we're gonna be releasing. We actually had gone like as far as like trying to write it a specific way for a while, for like months. I want to name drop it, but I don't know if I
Just-
should.
yeah.
It's called Girlfriend is the Moon.
Yeah. Okay.
We like literally wrote it like one whole way, and we just were just like, it's not working. Like we don't know what we're stuck, you know. And like I remember at the beginning of like working in that like with that song, like I immediately knew what I wanted to do, but like we kind of were in that position where it's like, all right, we've been doing what I do a lot, so we were just kind of like, let's do something else. And we got stuck there, and we're just like, all right, what now? And I was like, well, we can always try the format that I had in mind. And then we did that, and then we were like, literally, we went from being stuck for a couple months to like hammering it out in like a couple of practice sessions. Like it was literally, boom, out, like pretty much out the door. One thing that I am kind of like a hard head about, and like it's not completely intentional, but it does happen a lot. Is like I like to write lyrics, and like be like, no, like I want to practice them myself. I want to hear them myself, and I want to like I'll
surprise us when it comes back.
Yeah, I kind of throw it out. Like Super Collider, we almost wrote completely as an instrumental until like, well, at least these guys were like, everybody else in the group were like, basically on the page that it was that it was an instrumental, and then like we go into the studio, and I'm just like, no, I have the lyrics for it.
The last day,
Literally,
we all finished tracking everything else, and then we all like, all right, cool, we're just gonna wait for it to come back, and then apparently Gio went in there,
tracked some vocals for it, and that's what we got for.
And literally, yeah, and we get the first draft of the track from our engineer, and we're like, what the?
They're like, what the hell is this?
Where did this singing? And it caught us way the hell off guard. So I mean,
it took a while to get used to, for sure.
It changed the song for sure. Well, I mean, we practiced, or we wrote that song like across a year or whatever. Never vocals, never singing. So it completely caught us off guard.
To be fair, when we were writing it, I definitely intended to do a lot more on the guitar, but as it went by, I kind of like was thinking to myself like that L's guitar riff just kind of shines. So I was just like, well, I think I should just be strumming some chords like in the background, like not really taking from like the noodly aspects of that riff that sounds just good, you know. And I felt like I wasn't really doing much in that regard, and I wanted there to be vocals because honestly, like I love instrumentals, but like I like doing vocals too because it's just one of those things that I know other people like. You know, like we were mentioning, like songs being shorter or whatever. Well, early on, I would get a lot of comments from a bunch of my friends and even people like online there that I would just ask what they think of it.
Other artists that we've played with too.
Yeah, and they would say like, I like your music, but there's not really much singing. I wish there was more singing in it. And really early on, we did play like majority of our set was instrumental. And I just wanted to do more vocals because that's what it felt like we needed, you know. And
yeah, and I think we had that conversation, and I agreed. I think everybody agreed that something people want. But I mean, as far as me and Al, I think we love the instrumental. I love it. Most of the music I listen to every single day is all instrumental, right? I like vocals. I honestly think of a vocalist or a singer as kind of just like another instrument. I never really listen to the content of the words that they're saying. I like the intonations. I like the voice going up and down, but I'm not listening to whatever fucking words are coming out of the mouth. Like I'm not listening to it, and I never really cared. But I came to that realization where it's like that's what people want, right? So maybe if we're talking about things that as a band we've foregone what we prefer to give people what they want, definitely adding vocals to like everything is one of those things.
I think Chris was like a big advocate for that, right?
yeah, Chris used to be very vocal about that. He's like, I want to hear you more. I want to hear more vocals on these tracks. From when we was kids.
Hell yeah.
Big shout out to Chris.
Yeah, shout out to Chris, big boy.
Yeah.
He's in one of the
new songs.
Imagine. Yeah, we collabed with him.
Nice.
Look forward to that.
And I was gonna say actually, so I mean, if we want to use that as a segue, one of the tracks I sent over, I don't know if you have access to it. It's actually, we had Chris feature on one of our songs. he sings, and the exact section that I sent you is the exact section that Chris is singing in. So
Nice.
Yeah, if you wanna give a preview,
if you
that
want to share
we
it with the
sent it
people,
to
or
you.
not, up to you. Just saying, I don't know.
That's great.
No,
It's
and
fun.
and you
It's
know, I'll
really
say
good.
this.
It's a
I'll
fun
say
song
this.
to play.
Nobody else like publicly has heard this. I mean, obviously, like us
Well,
and
Chris has.
internally and our friends. Yeah, of course, Chris love them, but yeah, not many people have heard this song.
Yeah, just a handful.
It's on Google now.
What is it?
I
Like
leaked
an
it.
exclusive preview. I feel
not
like
what
usually you
everyone
leak out of
see,
your
though.
pants.
It's on
Somehow
YouTube.
it snuck up on a leak of Lil Nas X's new album. I don't know how, but it's there. Not crazy.
Yeah.
Lil Nas X has a new album.
They've been posting, and it looks like they got a bunch of music that they're
Thanks for
sitting on.
thanks
They're-
to all
they're
the
kinda
listeners. I
teasing.
appreciate you guys coming out.
I think that's one thing we should
learning a
probably do.
little bit about
Teasing?
Luzma.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've had a lot of
Just
viewers tonight
little,
too. So
you know,
We're a weird
short
bunch.
form
We're
videos.
yeah,
where
you're,
it's
you're,
just
you're a couple cool
a
guys.
piece of a
Couple chill
song.
dudes.
That Reggie's video you guys sent us.
Not the video. Did you get the track? The
It should be like a song.
Oh,
is it in the email?
I sent it to you. I sent you the link on Instagram.
Oh.
Sorry.
Let's see.
I don't know if I
I
can.
like
Oh,
that
yeah.
you have little homie statues right there. Those are the little
I've been
homies
staring
right
at these marble ones.
There's this what were we talking about earlier about like AI and all that stuff?
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to kind of drop a little thing. That's a good.
So before we play this song, talking about AI, what do you guys feel about the fact that you can prompt AI to write a full song and it'll sound exactly like if a band was like writing the whole thing? Like we've tried it before on the show. After like 2 minutes, it gives you like a full. We prompt it after 2 minutes. It gives you like a full like whatever song you prompted to. Do you think that's gonna like take over the music industry? Or do you think that's gonna like just nobody's gonna care about it?
I don't think it's gonna take over the music industry, solely because a lot of that stuff is gonna remain in like its pocket. Like I can't speak for like long term, but my belief is that it's gonna remain in like whoever creates its pocket. It's barely whatever song they create is never gonna be like something that's widely consumed by a lot of people unless it becomes like a meme or something. And a big part of music in general is the live aspect. And like if you can't like give people like access to the people who created it and then like have them perform it physically in front of them, it's losing something that quite frankly is probably the biggest reason why people listen to music, is because they can go and see them live and
Connect with an artist.
you lose that connection with an actual artist. And even if it's just like being able to see them through photos or whatever, to like playing shows, like you can't see them play shows. You could play it live and like I don't know, like a DJ would, but it's never gonna be the same thing.
Like I think everything has its time and place. I don't think AI can ever take over or will take over, but it has its time and place. I think AI music does have an audience, just like every genre has its audience, right? As a music listener, you probably more than likely don't listen to everything, right? Like I know that's a term people throw out. Oh, I listen to everything. It's like, yeah, right. Do you listen to Gregorian chant, and do you listen to like medieval? And do you listen to orchestra? And
Listen to-
Mongolian throat music.
You listen to
Which I actually do, you know,
mid 2000 scene pop, you know.
Sure. But are you ever going to find anybody that listens to everything all the time? Not likely, right? So I think AI music will have a pocket of people that enjoy it, and if you do, awesome, and if you don't, awesome. I mean, it's not for you, right? But yeah, at least not inside of our lifetime. I can't see AI kind of like coming and just like taking over or whatever. So
Now, what do you guys think about this? Spotify is going to use AI to create their own artists, to create their own music, so they don't have to pay out like physical artists.
I think.
cool.
Go ahead,
Okay. Good luck.
go first. I think it's dumb, but go.
No, yeah, I agree with that. I think that's pretty fucking dumb. I don't
It's-
know.
I think it's stupid too.
Like I said, it's the whole point of the whole part of like having an artist and like being able to go hear them and everything. It's like sure, like I'm sure they can get some success with that because I mean they have the platform. They
control the platform.
Yeah, so they could just put that music out there and just feed it to everybody low key. Maybe people won't even realize it's AI music, and like it might even do well. But like at the end of the day, like they're never gonna be like, oh, they're coming to town. They're
Well, I
playing
don't know.
this
I don't
or-
know about that, right? Because I think about what the hell's the name? Is it Hatsune Miku? Nico?
Yeah, but
you know?
she's not like
But
AI.
but you
Yeah.
kind of you're treading similar waters,
Similar.
right? Like I don't know if you guys anybody had the opportunity to see Death Clock live or Metalocalypse or whatever.
That's what I was
But,
referring.
You know,
yeah.
you think of like Dry Bones. Like Dry Bones is not a real person, but they feel like a real character. Like I feel connected to Dry Bones, and I love Death Clock more because I love Dry Bone or not Dry Bone. Sorry, what the hell is his name?
I love Dry Hop. No, just playing.
I do love Dry Bones.
Isn't Dry Bones the one from?
From Super Mario.
Yeah.
But I forget his name. What the like?
I know what you're
Boneface?
talking
I don't
about.
know, but
The
yes.
guy with the
Scully
horns and
Yeah,
stuff.
the-
and
super cool, right?
spins around
So,
and shit.
like us as people, like we can build connections with things that are not real, and there's like a human element to it. So, can you take AI music and pair it up with a non-real fictional character and still build a connection? Yes. But is it going to feel right for everybody? Probably not, right? Again, it's going to have a section of people that enjoy it, like people who enjoy VTubers, right? Not my cup of tea, but I know there's a ton of people that enjoy VTubing. Cool, whatever. That's your thing, just not mine, right? So
It also probably has something to do with like how it's like created. Just because like I used to watch this one like Twitch stream that was like a Seinfeld like knockoff, and they would just be like AI generated Seinfeld scripts like 24/7. And in the beginning, that was like really popular, but over time. You'll see like 5 viewers on that stream nowadays. Like it just like
The
kind
novelty
of
is
dropped
gone.
off. Like people get tired of that. Like if you're like maybe like if there's a person behind it like creating like art through like prompting in an eye, there's like a chance for it to have an audience. But I think if it's just like generating it itself like on loop, you're gonna have people just get really tired of that shit and just kind of start to tune off over time.
Well, I'm sure that's probably something they're considering. They probably have like a room of people listening to whatever they generate and thinking like, is this worth
Yeah.
uploading? Is this, you know?
that's what I would say. I think
There's probably
as-
going to be a human filter
Yeah.
before they put it out, but
a lot of the AI stuff you see like on X or Twitter or whatever is usually filtered, right? Like AI might generate 100 scripts or whatever, but they're reading through them to see which one's the funniest one to post or whatever. So,
That's true.
and the AI itself isn't going to be able to filter through it itself because it generated it. It doesn't know if it's good or not. It's just spitting it out, right? You need a
That's
human
true.
element.
Yeah. So I use like AI to filter, like to make little clips of like our fucking podcast and shit. But all the clips that they pull out is fucking trash. So I have to like sort through them and like re-edit them and stuff like that. So yeah, you're right. There's always gonna be like a human filter behind AI. I believe. I hope so.
At least during our lifetime,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, for
Who knows
sure.
beyond?
Yeah,
but I don't give a shit what happens after I die.
but the reason why I brought that AI thing up, I don't know if we were going to go to something else. Oh, yeah, we were going to do the
Our whole next
audio,
album
right?
is AI.
Yeah,
Yeah, we were able to pull up the audio. So, would you guys like to talk about this audio real quick before we do it? What was the inspiration behind it? You said somebody featured in it. What?
Yeah, so for those uninitiated, this song features Chris Lamb. He's a vocalist, lead singer in one of our favorite local bands and amazing talent when we was kids. So they've been friends for years. We love them. We love Chris. We've seen them play live, and Chris is just like this dominant, powerful voice that we've always appreciated. And he's actually a fan of Luzma. We were freaking surprised, and he's one of our biggest supporters. And it was just like this natural collaboration where we wanted to have him feature on one of our songs. And he took this song and he just took it to the next level. I remember hearing it. We were just tracking it at my house, just like rough, dirty tracks, not even in the studio yet. And man, like I felt chills. It just felt so good. And the song on its own was already great, but with Chris on top, oh my god, I don't know. I felt it. I was talking about it for days. So shout outs to Chris Lamb when we was kids. They're super good to us.
And real quick, how did the song even come to be? Like, who started it? Who wrote it? What was that about?
All right, well,
I see what you're getting at, dude. I see your games you playing.
we wouldn't. This song was actually spearheaded by our ex bassist. He came up with the main
Feel like
bass,
you knew
the
that
main
already.
bass drive. Brought it to us, and we just kind of worked around it. This song was actually like written completely as like an instrumental for the most part. We didn't usually when we write a song, I'll make a conscious effort to like be like, hey, there should be places we should leave openings for vocals. We should make it like So adding vocals and lyrics to it is an
easy.
easier thing to do later on. Like, so we don't have to mess around with it too much. We don't have to make the space after we just jam things out, or we don't force it on there. But when we introduced it to Chris, we were basically done with the song, and we're just kind of like, well, Gamma and our ex-bassist were kind of like, just, we want Chris to write his vocals, whatever he wants to write. Because I had thrown out the idea where it's like, you know, maybe we should, like, do what I was saying, like, make space for vocals. Maybe we should, like, maybe I should, like, write, like, the general, like, melodies or whatever, and then pass them to him, and, like, he just performs them. But they were just like, no, he has to write it himself. He has to
He's so talented.
perform it himself. And I was like, okay. So we gave him a, like, basically finished instrumental, and
Yeah.
he goes
Kind
over
of.
it.
So, like, I had that conversation with our ex-bassist about what he actually wanted vocally inside of that song. And so it came as a surprise to me, too. But he even said, he's like, this is actually the section. This is where I want him to start. And then I want him to go from this part of the song to the end of the song and let him do whatever he wants inside of that space. But it was definitely always intended, like, I want the beginning of the song to be instrumental, and this is where I want the vocals to start. What those vocals are, I don't care, right? So that's kind of the conversation we had with Chris, and he was all for it, and it was, again, just, like, amazing. And it feels real special to have such a close friend and talented musician want to collaborate with you, be a giant supporter, and then also kind of work on music together. It's freaking cool. Freaking cool. So, yeah, came out really good, I think.
Nice. Sweet. So this track is called Not Like Home.
Here you go, folks. Not Like Home, a Hawkwinds exclusive.
You heard it here
And I'll say-
first.
Yeah, for real.
I'll share it with you guys. This is the second half of the song, so you're not hearing the first half, but hopefully you
Still
guys get
Hawks
excited.
Wins exclusive.
Exclusive this year.
Exclusive. Thanks for those comments, too, folks. Keep them coming. We got Pedro Cortez here to talk semantics with you specifically.
Who?
Pedro Cortez.
I hear, and that's Chris right there.
Oh, can you hear it? I can hear it. Are you enjoying this song by yourself? That's fine. I don't need to.
No, the first time I heard that, I was like, holy shit.
So,
that's
That was
holy
pretty
shit,
cool.
moly.
This is so
fun to
good.
play too.
I love Chris.
Yeah, it's heard it here
it is one of the
first,
fun,
folks.
funner songs. We're probably gonna play it at the next show. Nah, just like, nah, I can't say that, but I wanted to say it just so we kind of like tight foot, ham fist that into the next show. 'Cause
Alright, we
Hell
have to
yeah.
kidnap Chris again.
had to play it now. Like,
Yeah, Chris is so great.
I think like out of the obviously because I'm barely gonna be like under a year with the band, so coming into the band and learning all these songs before that was one of the songs that I was like, oh damn, all right, like damn, okay. So learning that song was kind of it was really like, if it wasn't them I would still listen to it, like obviously I still listen to Luzma before like joining, so it's kind of like this like holy shit.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
damn.
That's actually one thing I think about every time we write a song is if I would listen to it.
Yeah.
If I wasn't in this band. Because
Yeah.
for real, like, if you don't think that to yourself, you get stuck in this whole thing
Yeah.
where you just think you're good.
Yeah, that's something that I hear very commonly from musicians is that like they write music that they would want to listen to themselves a lot. Usually,
Well, it's not even like me personally. It's just kind of like, do I feel like not just I would, but anybody in general. Like I try to be as broad about it because
okay.
like
Would people
I
listen
like
to it?
things, but like would people listen to it? Like if I like be hard on myself essentially, like where it's like, is this good enough? Like, because if it's not good enough, then
Well, you got to work on it, right?
Yeah, then you gotta
gotta
work
make
on
it
it
good
more,
enough.
yeah.
Yeah. It's so fun for me forever. So I mean, I've been playing music for forever now, like 18 years or whatever.
30 years. You know?
It's 98 years, and
before
it's-
the 1900s.
Yeah.
Actually, that's
Whoa.
around when I started. 1900s.
I started in the late 1900s. No, actually, that's
You're
when I
just
was
a music
I was
baby.
born.
Yeah. Same.
Yeah.
I was born in the late
I
1900s.
think we're all around the same
I'm
age. Except Iggy, right?
93.
Iggy's a freaking baby. He's like
Damn.
12 years old. Gotta sneak him into shows that are 21 plus.
I was gonna say, did you guys ever play like a bar show before
Hell
you guys
yeah.
were 21?
Hell yeah.
I never did.
Did you ever play a Claus show?
A what?
Oh.
Claus?
Wait, yeah, I
Claus
did play
restaurant
that.
in
No.
Cicero? Man, that used to be like in our little area in the Cicero
I think
Berwyn area.
in Chicago too, just
Um,
metal in
kinda
general.
like-
that,
yeah.
For a while.
That
yeah.
was
It
kind of like our spot. It was like this what was it? A German restaurant?
Bohemian
Polish.
restaurant.
Bohemian?
Yeah,
I
it
think
was
it was
like
Polish,
you
no?
can
I
get
don't
like
know.
duck and like sausages and stuff like
I
that.
love duck.
like roast duck.
whatever it was an awesome place. And it was like food and drink, but they used to just let us have metal shows there all the time. We would
That's dope.
trash the place. I feel bad about it looking back, but I mean, some of the best times ever. I swear, some of the craziest mosh pits, all girl mosh pits. I mean, it would get crazy in there.
Noise.
But probably the last show we were allowed to have there was the last one because people started like destroying some of the art on the walls, and I was like, all right, you guys are fucking
Oh
ridiculous.
yeah, yeah.
But I mean, we were all like 15, 16. Like, don't let us into your fancy, nice
I
restaurant.
mean, there was
We're gonna
older
fuck it
people.
up.
There were
There was
there were
some.
definitely there was definitely
That's my
some bands
cousin
where it
was
was
there
like a
for
The
lot of older
adults.
people. But they were they were just other dudes in other bands.
Yeah.
So they don't count as adults.
Yeah. So, but that being
Trust
said,
me.
like I'm gonna throw this out just because I just want people to know about deep cuts that we look back at as like, you know, your yearbook photos. You know, they're kind of cringy. But you can go on YouTube and look up "They Came From Nowhere" live at Klaus, and you'll see like old us playing.
I
to
just saw-
L's dismay, I'm pushing that because you know the other band is a reworked version of that band that I'm doing.
I just saw somebody share a memory like on Facebook or whatever from a Claude show like many years ago, and I was on the flyer and I was like, holy shit, it was cool. It's a long time ago.
You guys remember the "What the fuck is up, Denny's"?
Yeah.
If you guys could perform at any fast food joint, what would it be?
Portillo's.
Portillo's. Why Portillo's?
Because if they feed you, then I can get an Italian beef.
Ah.
You know, like, but I mean, ideally, I'd rather be at Johnny's or something.
I was gonna say Portillo's Italian beefs are kind of mid.
Well, if we're I just brought it up because it's a
Fast
chain.
Watch your goddamn mouth.
Mid.
No, it is mid. I brought it up because it's a chain, so like people know Portillo's.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I could say Johnny's beef, which is my favorite beef.
If we're talking about Italian beefs.
Or I could say like Al's beef or something, but specifically the one in like the old little Italy area, you know, UIC and all that stuff.
You're into Johnny's beef in like Oak Park or whatever the fuck. That's where they're at, right?
Yeah, it's not Oak Park, but it's
Oak Lawn?
literally right across the street from Oak Park. It's
That would be Berwyn.
Elmwood Park, I
No?
think.
Oh.
Elmwood
Elmwood
Park.
Other
Park,
side
there
of
you
it.
go.
Yeah,
Okay.
but if you like that one, you know that place Mitsuya Market? Like
Yeah.
It's all the way up north in
It's
Arlington Heights.
Maybe.
So there's another Johnny's beef not too far from that area, and they do like things that the other Johnny's won't do. Like
Whoa.
the original Johnny's
How
just
much
does.
it cost?
It's a little.
Wait a
so,
minute.
After
so
the
the
door closed.
original Johnny's just offers like one size beef and like
Okay.
combo and fries and I
Mhm.
think like sodas and Italian ice. I think that's all they offer. This place offers like jumbo beefs. They offer like beef bowls, protein bowls. They offer
More
like-
beef than Johnny's, pretty much.
Yeah, they do a lot.
The beef
Like they
is-
like double everything and they make it bigger and it's just as fucking good and it's amazing. I went there and I slammed. I mean, like,
Do you want them to use your promo code too? Jesus.
Yeah. If I went there, last time I went there, if you saw me eat it, you'd say like, you know that meme of like sex being invented by Jesus when he was outside of a polar dog, like slamming a chili dog, you know, like.
I have no idea what the fuck.
There's a meme where he's
This
like,
is what conversations with him go like.
Sex was invented by Jesus when he was seen outside of a polar dog eating a chili dog. That's what it was. Yeah.
What's a polar dog?
It's like one of those. It's like one of those like ice cream places that do like hot dogs and stuff. You know, like the ones that pop out like in the summer, like
like
in
a Tasty Freeze.
Yeah,
kinda thing.
something like that. Like it's like one of those things. Like
Oh.
yeah.
Now imagine what the private Luzma chat looks like.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, like
I'm
know
not
what-
just
what-
MAGA. I'm
just-
dark gothic MAGA.
I slammed that shit so hard.
I don't know how we got this far into this conversation, but I
Dude,
don't want to say that.
Don't
like,
get me started on beefs. That's one thing. I
He loves his meat.
actually, fun fact. While Chinese football was like talking to the audience and saying they love Chicago, I screamed from like the rafters like, "Eat an Italian beef," because like they were like saying that where they're from. I think it's Wuhan.
China,
Is like referred to locally as like the Chicago of China.
Whoa.
And I was like, well, if you want to like have that real Chicago experience, go eat an Italian beef. I love Italian beefs. I love sushi and I love ramen. But Italian beefs, I'm passionate about. I
Oh,
love it.
Mr.
I
President,
wanna
you
get
sure do love beef.
Drop the
fucking
promo
sweating
code
right now?
PUBG. Save more on Johnny's beef.
Nah, just referencing The Critic. I don't know if you ever watched that show.
All right.
But so like what I wanted to mention that like so for a long time, it was really hard for me to be a fan of any music project that I was involved in because it felt like I don't know, it didn't feel right or it felt like I was like patting myself on the back and I kind of just felt like a scumbag. I was like, I don't know, you're not supposed to listen to your own music and you're not supposed to talk well of your music that you create. You can talk well of others, right? Maybe your fellow, local musicians or any bands that you like or whatever, but you would never like I wasn't that kind. I felt weird. And it took a long time for me to be able to speak well of my friends, my band, right, Luzma. But the way mentally that I kind of broke through that barrier is that like I celebrate them. I think they're all talented as hell. I think they're amazing, and I'm lucky that I get to create music with them, right? So if I would speak well of them, me not being integrated with them, like why wouldn't I speak well of them with me being integrated with them? I always feel like they're amazing and I need to keep up, right? I need to do my best to always keep up with how good they are. But I can finally feel like I can speak well of Luzma, and when I support Luzma myself, I no longer feel like a scumbag because I know that I'm supporting them. And then at the end of the day, I think that matters, right? Like good friends, amazing musicians, and if I can't say good things about Luzma, then I'm not saying good things about them, and I want to, right? So when I speak well of Luzma, it's not just me. And honestly, at the end of the day, it's probably as little as I can praise myself. I don't want to praise myself. I just want to praise them and the great job that they've done,
I feel like that's a good way of thinking about it because I feel like a lot of musicians go through that, like where they write something with a band and then it's like, well, they just don't want to, for some reason, don't want to say, oh, this is really amazing. You guys should all check this out for whatever reason.
Yep.
But
Feels
it
cringy.
should be, yeah, it's for some reason it's cringy.
Right.
But it should be like that. You're not talking directly about yourself. You're talking about the people that you're working with. You know what I mean? Like that's a good way of thinking about it. And now, what's your what fast food place would you perform a show at?
Have you guys eaten at Garib
Depressing
Nawaz?
questions here at Hawk Wins.
What?
Have you guys eaten at Garib Nawaz before?
What is it
Garib
called?
Nawaz?
Garib Nawaz, right by
Yeah,
UAC.
that goes hard too.
What
What's
about
that?
Noah's?
Right now?
Climb a boulder.
It's in Lombard, I think.
Great Noah's?
Lombard too. It's also in
Yeah.
Devon. It's like Pakistani like food. It's highly recommended. I would love to play a show there and maybe get free food out of it too. I don't know.
I don't
Wait,
know
what's
that.
it called? I'm gonna put a picture up at some point.
GHAREEB NAWAZ.
Okay.
Garib Nawaz.
Garib Nawaz, yeah. I don't know that I've had a single day where I spent some time with Elle and didn't hear Garib Nawaz come out of their mouth. So
So
It's that good.
10 out of 10. Do
Yeah.
recommend, chat.
Cheap
addicted
and
to
delicious.
Garibs.
Delicious and cheap.
Yeah.
My favorite.
Hell yeah.
That's how I love my. Wait, never mind.
So what's yours? Where are you trying to perform? at?
Culver's.
Culver's, why?
Yep.
Ooh.
Why?
That bacon burger, bro.
Isn't
Am I talking about mid, my boy?
yeah,
mid.
Culver's is pretty mid. I'm not gonna lie. If you
That's
want,
not bad. It's good.
if you want a good butter burger, like a real butter burger, go to Wisconsin. They'll slam like a big old. They'll spread butter burger like people spread cream cheese.
Yeah, but
on,
then
like,
you're in
bagels.
Wisconsin. Oh, sorry,
Butter.
Wisconsin. I love you guys. Never mind.
He hates
Go
Wisconsin.
to Wisconsin.
I don't hate this.
Hey, that's where like some of the best Midwest.
You just
email
lost
comes
all
from.
your Wisconsin listeners.
I just
Good. We don't-
dislike the Green Bay Packers. Although they did win me some money on DraftKings this week. So, hey,
Alright,
thank you, Green Bay.
All right.
So now you like him.
I mean, it was Bears against the Packers. I had to take
It was
I
easy.
had to take the
Easy
bet.
W.
Yeah.
It feels really bad betting against the home team, but
It's
the McGowan's
just-
good.
It's just like
You'd be dumb if you didn't, though.
Yeah.
Right?
It's a numbers game.
You'd be a terrible gambler if you didn't.
Yeah.
Bet
What the
against
fuck
Chicago.
is I don't know.
Steak and Shake wouldn't be a bad place either. Like,
Those are ghost towns now.
really,
I went to
I
a
heard
Steak
they're
and
dying,
Shake
huh?
recently. There was nobody there. You had to like scan a code thing to like fill up your pop and everything. It was wild. There was nobody there.
Speaking of Culver's, I actually have a friend who's gonna play a show at a Culver's.
No way.
Was that
yeah,
real?
It's Brian.
I think it
Durant.
got canceled.
Oh, it got canceled.
I thought that was fake. I'm almost sure that was fake.
I
that was
could
a
have sworn
front.
it was. I mean, shout out to Brian Duran.
We love Brian.
What is he playing? First Up to Glory.
First up to glory.
Yeah, shout out to them too. Just random, just because I brought it up. Have to.
There's some
Love you,
deep-
Durant.
Yeah.
Shout out to Durambe.
Durambe.
Harambe.
Bryant Durant.
Nope.
Shout out to Michael Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
Just kidding.
Heard he doesn't tip.
That was Scotty
That's
Pippen.
terrible.
He's all
Well,
No
tennis.
tipping
Scotty.
Pippen. Yeah. Well, you know why, right?
Why?
I'm getting my sports guy on right now. Scottie Pippen, he didn't take a whole lot of money when he was signed for the Bulls, and it's well known throughout like the food industry of Chicago that Scottie Pippen never tips because he felt that he gave the city so much that he didn't really have to like pay much more. But also, if you look at the numbers though, like he was getting peanuts compared to like what the next
Yeah.
round of
Yeah.
NBA players were
Well,
getting
whose
paid.
fault is that?
That sounds like
Is
his
I
manager.
mean, he took
just has bad
he took the
management.
security, you know, he took
not-
the security.
Yeah.
But I wanted to know, where did the name Luzma come from?
Whoa.
They just passed it to me. It's my mom's name.
Oh, that's
It's my
cute.
mom.
Your
Yeah,
mom?
My mom's called Luz Maria Santoyo. We were just trying to figure out a name for the band because we, obviously got together and didn't really have any name. And we were just like, well, I was looking for inspiration from like bands with really short names, like one word, one phrase. And I was thinking like bands like Rush, and I was like, well, what words are short? And I couldn't really think of anything that I didn't feel like was already being used. And I was just like, well, what about my mom's name? Like, I love my mom. Like, literally, I love my mom. I was like, all right, let's just call the band Luzma. And then when people chant Luzma, it's chanting my mom's name, like it's a personal thing. I mean, when I started
that
this group
happens a
too,
lot, you know what I mean?
it was just me, like at the beginning. So in hindsight, it kind of seems right,
That is cool. That's something. So when I heard the name, I just think it's pretty, which is cool. It's a pretty name. I enjoy it, and I mean, it's not like I wanted to have this like deep, meaningful name behind our band or anything. Like I think it just sounds cool, right? But we've thrown around the idea of maybe changing the band name in the past, and at the end of the day, I just like the fact that it's so short, and it is really cool when people chant Luzma, because we're jamming out, rocking out, or whatever, and people just chant Luzma. It's so easy. Like, how the hell are you supposed to chant, like, I guess you could, but like a long name like Double Driver or whatever, System of a Down or whatever. Like
The number of times
it's
people.
2 syllables.
Yeah, it's
Da
just
da 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 do
just feels
Luzma,
good.
lose.
Feels
So
The
it
number
just-
of times I've had people like come up to me after like a show and just said, "Lose my balls," though.
Yeah.
Losing the balls.
is-
Lose my mind.
Luzma,
Losing mine. We did a joke photo where we took like the stereotypical band, like metal band, where everyone has their hands crossed
Arms
and there's like a light
crossed.
over them, or I think it was from Under, I forget, but it was crossed hands, and we joked around when the Ligma thing was a meme. We just put Ligma, like we were changing our band.
we were
name to
changing our name to
Ligma.
Ligma, yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
Like what?
We still got people in our DMs like thinking that we're a person named Luzma.
Oh yeah.
Oh
we
yeah,
got-
we used
it'll
to
be
have
just some
dudes
random, like,
dudes
Mexican dude.
messaging us like, "I miss you, I love you so much.
Or
Please come back. Please reply to my messages." And we're like, "My dude."
I think
Funny.
once we got a message from like somebody like asking about their car keys in Spanish.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like they were like,
Like, hey, do you have my keys?
Yeah, can you return my keys or some shit like that? And I think they think we're a person called Luzma
It's like,
or
it's
something.
like, dude, we're a
like that.
fucking band.
So what'd your mom do with his keys?
She flushed them down the toilet. You know?
That's not where keys.
Do you guys have any like weird like fan interactions or like any weird like?
Definitely, yeah.
There was this one time when we were playing this house show, and this guy just like started like we were mid song, and this guy just starts coming up to us, and he's just like screaming into our faces. Like I had a mic in front of me, he's just screaming at me, and I have no idea what the fuck he's saying because we're like really loud, and it's a house show, it's loud as fuck. He pulls out his phone and he just starts pointing to a picture of the American football album cover, and he's just like angrily pointing at it. And just like continuing to, I have no idea what the fuck.
Pretty sure he was just saying like he thinks we sound
you
like.
sound
But he
like
seems so angry though.
Yeah, because he
Yeah.
came up to me too, I think, if I recall.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, but no, for me, a lot of the interactions actually happen online. I you know how I mentioned earlier where Gamma was like the musician thing to do is like add people who have like a guitar in their profile. Well, I have the opposite because like I have this rule now, and this is because of this. Where people add me because of the band, and like I used to like just be like, okay, they have a guitar or something in the profile, they're just a musician or like something, like sure, whatever. But then it started becoming just like people with general interests in music adding me, and then they'd add me, and sometimes they just directly go for like DMing me like the randomest. It's nice to hear people say like that they love the music or whatever, but there's some people who like will like try to get to know me really well, and I actually made them not mistake, but I've made the what could be a mistake of like actually befriending some of these people, and luckily it worked out great. Because you never know who, like people on the internet, you know, some people develop weird interests in others, and it could, you know, you got to stay safe. And if you're not considering it even at like a low level, because I mean, it's happened enough where like I've made a rule about it, you know, where like I don't accept random friend requests. And I think Elle has even received like EDMs from me asking like, hey, I just got added by this person. Do you know them? Like, I see that you have them on your friends page, so I'm just assuming it's someone they went to school with or something.
I'll be honest,
and maybe their interest.
When you first added me and we had that session, there was a 50-50 chance I was gonna rape you. So.
Oh, I guess you just demonetized their whole video right there. That one word. I might have done it with the R. Kelly thing.
I meant like emotionally, like you know, just
But-
like take everything from you.
No, I'm just saying the algorithm on YouTube is pretty hard on that word. I only know that because I follow a lot of like. I follow a lot of true
next words,
I follow a lot of true crime.
Now it's definitely.
And they
Excuse
always blur that
myself
word
for
out,
the rest
out.
of
You know,
True.
that and like other topics that are like dark or whatever.
guys
They
need a
always
bassist?
blurt it out, like blur it out.
I follow.
But yeah, that being said, like my weirdest encounter is someone who like added me, and I thought they were like a friend of one of the people in the band. They like DM me, like asking me a bunch of personal questions, and then they start like going off on how like they love like a certain song, and I'm just like, who is this person? Like, it's nice to be told that, but at the same time, it's just kind of, it's a little weird because like some people will start asking me if they can come over or something like that, and it's just it's happened.
That's
like
weird.
I live, and it's funny because I'm
So
friends
what's your
with
social?
I'm friends with one of those people because I was dumb enough to like actually like be like, yeah, come over, you know, because they saw my story, they added me, and I like posted like a Junji Ito book, and they were like, oh, can I borrow it? And I was like, yeah, sure, you know. And they're like, can I go pick it up now? I was like, I guess. I was home, and I was like, I guess.
I'm outside.
And then they came and like we talked for a bit, and it was all cool, but you know, like.
I guess
Yeah.
I've never been welcoming enough to have anybody want to reach out to me. So no, I haven't had any of that happen to me.
No weird stuff. Oh, there is a bad experience with shows, though. I don't know if that's a different question, though.
Why?
I guess we can talk about bad show experiences.
Yeah, lay it on us.
I think we all have one bad show experience. The very first show we ever played.
I guess it's not that bad, but sure.
Wow, I thought
sure.
it was horrible. I can literally list off a few reasons why it was bad. You ever play The Mutiny?
The Mutiny. Yes.
Yeah, the dive bar with like no
Well, it's
AC.
gone now.
In the middle of the summer, it gets like 100 and something degrees inside there, while it's like 100 degrees outside.
Yep.
You know, so we played on a show where it was like about like 98 degrees outside,
Jesus
and it was like
Christ.
103 degrees in the venue, because there's no AC. So that was horrible. The sound guy shows up 2 hours late. We were
course.
supposed
Something like that, yeah.
supposed to show up. We were supposed to play at like 11, and we ended up playing
Yeah,
at
like
like
10 or something.
yeah, but we ended up playing like almost 2.
One.
Yeah.
We finished like at 2 or something.
Yeah,
like that.
and that was bad. But I think the worst part was there was a guy who was playing before or after us who was supposed to play that slot, who basically went around us and told the sound guy that we were okay with him opening, like playing before us.
That's shitty.
So he literally went and told him that, and the sound guy just set him up, and as we're setting up too.
That's
And he
Yeah.
just starts playing while we're setting up.
While
and
we're
just
setting
like,
up.
What the fuck is going on?
that's shitty.
Yeah, and so, yeah, we had to sit and wait even longer for some guy who went around us at a show that we're already playing really late at, where like it's very uncomfortable to be in there. And luckily we had some friends come through, and I did notice this was one thing that kind of brought my spirits up. We basically played to like 2 or 3 of our friends and like the other bands.
Mm-hmm.
And mainly like 1 or 2 that were still there, because that dude who played before us, I think, literally
He dipped.
dipped the moment he was done.
Yeah.
Of course.
And the second we started playing, like everybody in the building turned around and was just like, "What the hell's going on?" Like everybody, like when the guy before us was playing, he had his like group of friends that came, and they were the only people like paying attention to him, you know. And everyone at the bar was just drinking and whatever. But the second we got on stage, the whole bar turned around. Some of them got up, went to come
Hell
see
yeah.
us. Our friends were obviously supporting us, but it just kind of was
Yeah.
like validation, where it's just
Confirming, yeah.
like, where it's just like, okay, so there's a little like we actually have something to offer out here, you know, like.
Yeah.
And all that show was, I'm pretty sure, was like 100% instrumental.
Yeah.
And
It was super short. I think we had like 3 songs.
yeah,
like
I
20
don't even
minutes.
think we probably played like a 15-minute set or something, which is why I said I'm pretty sure we played it like almost at 2 a.m. like in the morning.
It was late.
And I think we had another show that was supposed to be booked there like a month or 2 later, and it got canceled.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but
yeah.
we literally were told it was canceled as we were loading.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
We
terrible.
we loaded the stuff up, we're about to get in the car, and then we get the messages, and it's just like, okay, I guess.
That was at the Mutiny too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, dive bars are always a 50-50, man. Like it's either gonna be a really good show or the fucking sound guy isn't gonna show up at all.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. There's also these weird in betweens. We once played at this place. I think it was called Sylvie's.
Yeah.
Oh.
Sylvie's
and,
Lounge.
and she
North
and
Side.
Sylvie was such a sweetheart. She was great.
She was there.
Oh,
Owner.
Yeah,
Oh,
the
best.
Sylvie, you know.
Oh,
like,
the so
yeah,
okay.
she was there, and she
Bring me Sobe.
she was talking to us, and she
We had shots with
offered-
her.
Yeah, she offered us shots, and yeah, it was a pretty nice night.
Is that one place where like the stage is like really small and like the bar is like really? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
there's
It-
like
it's they're like
there's like
almost
a
in 2
pole on the
separate
stage.
rooms.
that kinda
Yeah,
blocks the
yeah,
drummer.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and it
that
was
place
fun.
is cool.
yeah, it has potential, and it's fun. Like and
But see, the most memorable thing of that night was talking to Sylvie. She's
Yeah.
just a sweetheart.
Mm.
So,
Oh yeah.
we love Sylvie.
I don't think I have any like bad interactions. If anything,
You want to have one right
I
now?
mean,
The-
you've been
the
playing
fan-
the greatest hits so far.
yeah.
basically,
So
like you,
if anything, the fans probably have the worst interactions with me because I'm really awkward. So like, it's not like, you know. I use glasses, so like if I see you, I'll like squint, but my eyebrows are also like kind of like angry already. So people are like think probably I'll like that I'm mean mugging them. So like, but I'm just like, oh, who is that? Like, you know. So if you come up to me at like a show, I won't see you until you're like maybe this close, and then I'll be like, oh yeah, like what's up? But I had somebody come up to us to me at the Chinese football show because of the basics that I was playing. But I didn't recognize them, so I was just like, I don't know, are they walking this way? Are they talking to me? So it's usually a lot of that, like at the shows where it's like, oh, like you were doing so good, and I was like, who's that? I'm like, oh, like what's up, you know? So, you know, don't be afraid to come up to me. Like I'm just really awkward. That's all it is. I'm just like, oh, hi.
You're not actually mad at them.
Yeah, I'm not mad. I'm just. Yeah,
You just look like you're mad.
Yeah.
I just
I'm just a chill
remembered
guy.
something.
I'm just a chick.
when we played
Freaking
honky
love
tonk,
memes.
like one of those times, after I like had packed up and all that stuff, I was like getting ready to like go home. So me and my girlfriend are like walking like out of the bar, and a fan was like, "Hey, can I take a picture with you?" And I'm like, "Okay, sure." And I'm just like, "Hi," and then like I don't see it right away. But she starts like crouching down to like my crotch and like starts like pretending to like, and
Hell yeah.
my girlfriend like sees that and pulls me away, and I'm like, "What happened?" It's like she was.
That's awesome.
That was a interesting fan interaction.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wish I had one of those stories. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
You guys are fucking cool.
When it comes to actual shows, most of my interactions are literally like, "You were great," and I'm just like, "Thanks," and I just like walk
Yeah.
away. Like I don't know what
Hide
to
in the
say,
corner.
you know?
Can I borrow your amp?
Yeah, I did that. I said that to Yvette Young after a Covet show.
No way.
Yeah, and she was like, "What?" And I was like all embarrassed, so I like walked away. and then I posted about it later, and she actually commented on it. She was like, "Oh, yeah, you can use my app anytime," you know. And
Damn.
it was from a post where I just was like, you know, the show was great. I bought this merch, took photos of it. I got the set list from David, who was the bassist at the time, and that was dope. I also talked to him a little bit because I also have Mike Kinsella's set list from a show at the Empty Bottle from American football.
Nice.
And yeah, I told him I got this set list. I'm gonna put it right next to that one and all that stuff.
Yvette Young, you can use my amp anytime you want to.
Well, we're getting
Toyota.
just about that time of the show, guys, to kind of wind it up here. I was just wondering, is there any last things you want to let your listeners know? Anyone?
King of the Hill YouTube edits and that's the YouTube poops. And that's
Oh my God, the
We didn't
YouTube poops.
talk
We've
about
got to
the
talk
YouTube
about the
poops.
YouTube poops.
Yeah, Aliantos. Look him up on YouTube. Some oldies but goodies. Clouds.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of the other one.
Anyone born in the
Start
late,
Puffin' Boy.
in the late 1900s knows about YouTube poops, and it was the best time of the internet ever.
The internet's rotted your brain.
The internet has
Grandma's
my-
Cookies. Did you ever watch that one? The SpongeBob. Grandma's Cookies.
Oh,
think
yes,
so.
unfortunately.
That was an old one. That one got traction.
All day I say skibbity gia Rizzler. That's
Yikes.
the only thing that goes in my brain.
What
You
in
don't
Ohio
make
were
the-
you talking
Ohio.
about?
Wendy, Ohio. Did you pay your Phantom tax this morning?
You gotta do the
Riz face.
Riz face. The Rizzler.
Have you guys heard about the new internet sensation Mudang?
Mudang.
Oh,
That's old news. Old hat, buddy.
She's been around for a minute
That's
now.
fine.
Is that the hippo? The cute
Yeah.
Yeah,
hippo
Mudang.
baby?
Yeah.
Mudang's dope. It's pretty-
Love Mudang.
You know
What
that that
That's
meme
the-
where it's like you're destroying my like comfort like character or something like that, and it's like photos of Mudang being like carried away. It's,
Oh
like,
God.
Gum, are you into Mudang?
I don't know what that is.
I also
What?
don't know that is.
I'm an old
it's
man.
that little
Is it-
pig,
is
the
it
pygmy hippo,
the
the little tiny one.
the capybara or whatever?
No,
No,
it's
it's a
a
hippo.
hippo.
Different. So a capybara is different than
It's
Mudang.
a cute little hippo.
sounds
Although
like the same exact
capybaras are
thing.
dope too. Capybara, 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 capybara,
Capybara, capybara, capybara.
Well, I'm slightly interested
Okay,
now.
I found a bunny the other day.
For all the listeners that can't see what's going on,
Good noodle.
Jay Smooth is pulling up a clip right now. We're about to see.
Oh,
This is
God,
very
it's
important.
adorable.
It's the honestly this is the highlight of the show, to be honest.
We were just the warm up to this
Ah,
video.
Yeah, you guys were like the opening act.
Yeah, yeah.
And
No, it's
then-
just
I
gonna
would
be an
be
hour of
honored to
Mudang
open up
clips.
for Mudang.
Wait a minute.
Out of stock.
Hear the thing.
And officials say for conservation efforts too, with pygmy hippos considered an endangered species. Cameras offer a 24/7 live stream, but we watched Muding do her thing for real as she lumbered, slept, found a cool corner, and slept some more.
It's so cute. Very cute.
And we saw that between those viral antics making her famous, this is the one thing
Yeah,
Mu
dude,
Ding wants
it's a
most,
baby, but
to be
once
close
it
to her
becomes
mom,
full-size like
Jonah,
that,
never
it's gonna
waddling
awesome.
away for more than a
I feel like
minute.
that's
Just a
mostly
little
people's
girl.
faults. It's not like I walk outside and I see a hippo. Like I
Well, sure. I mean,
put
Pablo
myself in
Escobar
a
bought him
hippo
there.
environment. Yeah.
That hippo,
The walk
the
outside.
type of hippo it is also like kind of like a smaller kind of hippo, no?
Yeah, it's like a smaller, like a miniature sized hippo.
So
from
they
Thailand.
they grow to be not super big compared to like a
It still might kill you.
no, it's
So-
still
I don't know.
probably.
I feel like I do a
will.
really good job every single day of avoiding all hippos possible. And I don't know. I'm still alive. So.
The other
Yeah.
day, there was one on the other side of the street, and he just kind of like walked across the street.
That's hippoist.
Hippophobia.
That's
Yeah,
hippophobia.
he clutches his bag tighter when he sees a hippo coming.
What do you have against hippos, Kama?
I'm scared of them.
Just because they look like that, you can't. I'm just kidding.
All right, guys. Well, so before we dip out, we leave. We did have a couple shout outs. Man, there's so many people that throughout our musical career, and we're still little babies in our career, but we want to shout out some people, very special people. You know, we already talked about Chris Lamb earlier. Chris Lamb has been super good to us, good friend. Reach out and get us on bills for shows, and just cool guy to hang out with, as well as Norman Aguilar, bassist inside of One Wheels Kids. Those guys are so good to us. Everybody in One Wheels Kids, right? Between Mark and
Mark,
Mike, like there's, oh my god, awesome group of dudes. So shout outs to you guys. Thank you guys for helping us out and being good
Greg
friends.
Simpson.
We definitely want to shout out again. Brittany is our like social media girl, and she's been doing amazing. And without her, I don't know that we could find the energy to wanna keep posting as much as we do and editing and just doing what we do. Like, you know, we can create raw videos as much as we want, but then we never edit it. And she's just taking everything and just making some amazing stuff with it. As well as Uriel Brajas. He's been to probably the most recent 5 of our shows. He's recorded live video of us, so he's my brother, but he's also like a video nerd and computer nerd, and so he helps us with our recording and editing as well. Shout it out Bridget, right? Bridget has, again, she probably doesn't even realize how much she's helped us out, but I freaking love Bridget, and thank you for everything you've done. I'm gonna turn some of these over to Gio, but for sure, one of the biggest, most meaningful people on this list is Jay Smooth, who's in the room with us today.
Yeah,
Thank
and
you so much, man.
talking about hardworking people, I always mention you whenever I think of the most hardworking bands we like see in the scene. Like,
Oh, thanks, guys.
like for real.
100%,
Like,
yeah.
I don't think I see any other band that works as hard as you guys. Like,
Thanks, guys. That means a lot coming from y'all. You guys sound pretty fucking dope. You guys,
Thank you.
I remember watching you guys live like the first time a couple like years ago. I forgot. It was like some house show, some fucking like fucking liquor store or something.
I think it was called the
Was
liquor
it called the
store.
liquor store?
Yeah, but it was like an emptied out liquor
Yeah,
store or
yeah,
something.
yeah. I seen you guys there one time.
No shit.
And that was like the first time that I was just like, oh, these guys sound dope. So when I started like booking bands and shit, you guys were one of the first people that I was all like, I have to like hit these guys up and shit.
Thanks, dude. That means a
Yeah,
lot,
you guys
especially
are
coming
dope.
from a musician and somebody we respect so much. It means a lot, dude. So thank you.
yeah. And then shout out to Benny and Evil Cats Entertainment.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Talk
Yeah.
about somebody who's been good to us. Benny's just been hooking it up
Yeah.
with shows, and she's so good to us. Yeah.
Toucan and the Light Society. Yeah, and shout out to Los Radios and all that. You know,
Hell yeah.
we gotta mention them too. Gotta mention. If I don't know if they're still around. Rai, right?
Right
That's
turned
kind
into
of
Los
what
Radios.
Radios is.
Yeah,
No?
right turned
Okay.
into Los Radios.
And then the guy who makes us sound like we're actually good musicians, Joe Scaletta from Word of Mouth Recordings or Studios.
Dude, that guy's dope, man.
Yeah, he's great. He's great. He's
Huge
amazing.
fucking
I,
shout out to
I was
Joe.
talking about him the other day because I was like tracking something at home, and I was with a friend, and they're just like in awe with like how things are sounding. And I'm like, do you think this sounds good, or like, you think this workflow is good? Like, Joe Scaletta can do everything I just did in this hour in like 5 minutes, because he's just so much better and faster at this than we are.
Dude, yeah,
you
he's
know?
talented for
Yeah,
sure.
he makes it
Yeah,
sound great.
he could work across different genres. He's so freaking good. And I mean, we've been working with him for everything we've ever recorded officially. I guess minus our first 2 songs, but he's even put some of his input in there. Right, he's never like overstepped, been like, oh, here's what you need to do or whatever. But he just makes us sound good. Honestly, probably makes us sound better than we actually are. So we appreciate that.
Hell yeah.
Ain't that the studio in itself, right? The best recordings, the best things we could possibly do. See us live, but you know those recordings, you know, it's on another level.
Yeah.
Where are you guys playing next?
I don't remember. No, just kidding.
It's the Reggie show. We're playing Reggie's. What is that?
14?
December 14 or 12?
14.
14? You sure? All right. So we're playing Reggie's.
Wait, is that the show? But we're playing. That's
Okay.
that's
and
20. Oh, okay.
Archer Ballroom is the 22nd, I believe, and then Reggie's is the 14th.
You're pushing this way better than we are. Can you repeat both those things again? But like, just like.
Oh, for real?
December 14th.
Yeah, December 14th at Reggie's. You guys are playing. I'm excited to watch you guys there. And then Archer Ballroom on the 22nd.
That's actually my brother's birthday too.
Yeah?
Yeah, shout out to Aldo. He goes to some of my shows.
We're also playing the Out of Space in Berwyn on the 21st, right before the Archer Ballroom show on the Saturday.
Hell yeah.
So we'll be out there.
Yeah, we're gonna be playing. We're gonna bang. we just gotta book 2 other shows on those same dates, so we can do like a double bang bang. You know what I mean?
Ooh.
So it's bang bang on one day and bang bang on the next day. You know?
I love double bang bangs.
Yeah. Quadruple bang bang.
Mm.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
Quadra
called.
bang bang.
I'm all. That's too many bangs.
I wanted to do a little quick shout out, obviously because that kind of what inspired me to get into playing bass and all that. But quick shout out to JC, and then obviously a shout out to all our friends, our families, all our fans. My girlfriend, Elle's girlfriend.
Shout out to my girlfriend.
My girlfriend.
Gio's girlfriend.
Steph.
Yeah.
Love you, baby.
My
Gamma's
girlfriend,
brother, you
of
know,
course.
you're real. Like all our families, like they have a little bit of involvement, you know, like helping us like sell merch when we're playing shows and all that. You know, they was one of the past shows. They wore the shirts and they were like, do you want one? Like, you know, you want one? Like, they're over here. Like, come on, go buy one.
Yeah, they did.
So
The,
they
per-
did so
the,
much
the
lifting for
person
us.
that's sold and pushed the most Luzma merch is Iggy's mom.
Yeah, for
She
her.
sold the
yeah.
most shirts. She's amazing.
Shout out to my mom.
She's probably sold shirts to people who didn't want the shirts, but
Yeah,
they bought
we
them
gotta
from her
start
anyway.
paying them, right? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna have to
Yeah.
commission her some.
Yeah, so
gotta leave the tip jar or something.
Yeah, I mean it's crazy because like I think about family and friends, and one of the biggest things you could do is give somebody your time, right? To have somebody set aside a Saturday night evening plus $10 or $15 or $20 or whatever, you know, the cover charges to get into your show just to see you play. It means a lot. So yeah, we definitely appreciate that.
Shout out to Luzma, my mom. Shout out to my brother John, who also goes to all the shows too, or most of the shows. But yeah.
Yeah. Without them, I mean, you know, they hear us playing in our rooms and all that, you know. So it's kind of cool that they go to support us. when
You
we're
don't
actually-
think
They
about it from
endure
that
all the
side,
suffering.
right?
Yeah, they've heard all the bad stuff, you know.
exactly. Yeah, fucking
feel
deal
you.
with us.
All the missed notes, the untuned guitars.
The playing the song over and over and over again until you get it right.
On that topic, shout out to my cat.
Shout out to my cat. I don't like her.
What are your
She's
cats'
alright, she's okay.
names?
My cat's name is Sonat Kaiju the Tiger Expander Benning Rodriguez.
Okay.
My cat is Noodle. And then I have a bunny that I just found the other day,
Whoa.
and I called it Good Noodle.
Are you gonna eat it?
My girlfriend wants to, but I'm not. It's nice. It's a Holland Lop.
I don't know.
You know.
Does it
You
taste
were
good?
not bunny
It's
experts.
those bunnies that are like this big, and they
Dude.
have like the long floppy
Droopy
ears. Yeah,
Dude, I know two
But does it
bunnies.
taste good?
I know bunnies and I know chocolate
yeah,
bunnies.
probably.
Hold on.
Thank you guys so much for having us on, though. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
No, Luzma, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much for having us on, and thank you so much for being on the show.
It feels like you guys had us on.
You guys are welcome. You guys are welcome back anytime.
We can't wait to check you out, performing sometime soon. And for all of our listeners out there, go down into the description below. All of Luzma's information is down there. Follow him on social media. Follow him on Spotify.
Cash
buy
app
some
us.
merch. Buy some merch.
Cash app us if you want.
Cash app.
Zell us if you want.
Check out their
Apple
OnlyFans.
Pay. Yeah.
And
We've
if
talked about that.
one of the biggest things that you could do to support local artists is just to share. Hit the share button if you like
It's
this interview.
free.
Hit
Share
the
is
share.
free.
Please share it around. It's the best way to get community engagement.
Forget the Luzma side of stuff. Share for Hawk wins. That's what we want to be
Hawk
sharing.
wins.
Oh, you're gonna
Is
get
that your rebrand
demonetized
for
right there
next
now.
year?
Well, we appreciate your time coming on in tonight, and we wish
you,
y'all
guys.
nothing but the best of luck in the future. You're just a couple of chill guys, and I really appreciate it. Chill dudes. Sincerely, y'all have been an absolute delight to hang out with tonight.
Thanks so much.
Jay, you got any last comments or last remarks before we close out? the
Check
show?
out Luzma. That's it.
Man of short words. I love it. Yeah, check them out again down in the description below. Again, please like and share the video. Again, share it around. Share it around. Share it around. It always helps. But we're gonna wrap this show on up here. Usually at the end of each show, me and Jay like to send you guys out with a little thing to accomplish throughout the week until next Wednesday. Jay, you got anything for the audience to check out this week?
Support local artists.
Support local artists. Yeah, that's a good challenge. I'm going to challenge every single person here listening. Share a local artist. Luzma, share Hawk Winds, another musician group that you like. Share it. Share
And not
it,
just
share it.
musicians. You got a whole freaking spectrum of artists
Yeah.
all around Chicago. Specifically Chicago, man.
Mm-hmm. Share local Chicago artists.
Say hi
Yeah.
to us even if we're a little bit awkward.
Yeah. Even if they're awkward. Sure.
If we look mad, I promise you we're not.
Can
That's
give
one
them
of the
another
craziest
goal.
things
is-
that every time we go to a show, it's like there's so much talent there every time. There's so much talent in Chicago. It's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Another goal till next week. Try an Italian beef from Johnny.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe from Johnny's. Maybe from Al's.
Use the
Maybe
promo
Mr.
code.
Beef. Yeah, use the
PUBG.
promo code PUBG. And thank you for watching. This is PUBG, and we got. Thank you for coming out, Knockers.
We appreciate y'all coming out. Thank you so much. As always, thank you guys so much for tuning in tonight to Hawk Winds Radio Picture Show. We're here every Wednesday evening at Q4 Radio in the beautiful Ukrainian Village neighborhood of Chicago. Guys, tune in every Wednesday. We got a lot of really fun stuff coming up, especially coming up for the holidays. As always, my name is Jack Dwyer.
And I'm Dark Gothic J Smooth.
How grim. Thank you guys for joining us tonight. Y'all have a great night. Peace and love.